There's a rumor floating around school that Haruhi and I are up to something.
Level with me. What are you and Suzumiya up to? You guys wouldn't happen to be dating or anything, would you?
No, we're not dating. And trust me, I'd also like to know what we're supposedly up to. I don't have any idea what I'm doing anymore.
Just don't overdo it. You're not in junior high anymore. You guys mess up the school or anything, you'll get suspended at the very least.
At least I can keep Yuki Nagato and Mikuru Asahina from getting involved in anything too crazy. Since the SOS Brigade was founded, the once empty room of the former literary club now has lots of things in it. Maybe she's planning on living here or something.
You know what? It'd be great to have a computer in here. We're living in the information age and we don't even have a computer. I can't forgive them.
And who is it you can't forgive?
What do you say? Let's go get one.
Do you have any idea how we're going to get one? You're not going to rob a computer store, are you?
No way. We're going to hit someplace closer. Hi, everyone! I've come for a computer and all the accessories that go with it! Who in here is the president?
I guess that'd be me.
There's only one reason why I would schlep all the way over here to the computer club. I'm here for a computer. I only need one.
Excuse me? You crazy or something?
We only need one, and you guys got a whole bunch in here.
Hang on a sec.
Who the heck are you anyway?
We are the SOS Brigade, and I'm Haruhi Suzumiya, the leader, and these are my henchmen, number 1 and number 2. Don't give me any crap. Just hand over a computer and no one gets hurt.
Why the hell should I? I'm not giving you guys anything.
Okay. Here's how this is going to go down, boys, so try to pay attention.
What are you doing?
One more shot!
What are you doing?
I have photographic evidence of blatant sexual harassment. If you don't want any of these pics to show up all over campus, hand over a computer and be quick about it.
This is ludicrous. You forced me to touch your breasts. I'm innocent, I tell you.
Wonder how many people are going to listen to your side of the story, you sexual harasser.
What? Hang on. All the club members here are witnesses. That's right. Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
Then I'll tell everyone at school that all you geeks ganged up on her and her.
You out of your mind or something?
Well, Chief, you gonna hand it over or not? Suzumiya.
That's... Take whichever one you want. Get up, man. Get a hold of yourself. It's gonna be okay. We'll figure this out. Right.
It's like a bad comic strip or something.
Come on, man. We'll get it back somehow.
Which one's the latest model?
Give me one good reason why I should tell you that. That one.
I almost forgot. I got a list from the computer store yesterday. It's got all the newest models on it. And it looks like this computer's not listed. Think I'll take that one.
Wait, that's what she was just bought. You can't do this. Take it, you thief.
Yeah, you got that right. She is a thief.
Hey, Kyon. Could you get this?
And just like that, Haruhi procured a state-of-the-art computer. It was only then she learned that the literary club wasn't wired for internet use, so she called the computer club over to run a LAN cable between our rooms. She also had them set us up so we could connect using the school's domain. Can you say extortion? Good. Come on, what do you say we go back to the others? Miss Asahina, I was thinking maybe it's best you don't get involved with this brigade thing. I mean, who knows what she'll end up doing to you if you stay.
It's alright, I guess. But you'll stay too, won't you? I guess the probability of this happening on this particular time frame's unavoidable.
Huh?
And I'm worried about why Miss Nagato's here too.
What'd you say?
Huh? Oh, nothing. I was just babbling. I might be a little inexperienced, but I know I'm going to get along with everyone here. By the way, you don't have to be so formal. Please just call me Mikuru if you don't mind.
Okay, so what's next? So, about this website. Who are you gonna get to make it?
That'd be you. He's sitting around being bored all the time. I have to go out and find some more members now. Oh, and make sure you finish the site in the next couple of days. The club's dead in the water until we have our site up and running.
Oh, I'm building a website, huh? Despite my griping, I kinda enjoyed making it. The guys from the computer club installed all the software for me, so it wasn't too hard to figure out. Not a bad way to spend an otherwise boring lunch. Okay, what am I supposed to put on it? I mean, I still had absolutely no idea what the SOS Brigade was actually going to do. Hey, Nagato, is there anything you wanted me to put on the site?
No, there's not.
Not that I should get involved, but does this girl even go to class? Oh, crap. I gotta go to class.
Take it. I'll lend this to you.
Okay, I'm still not sold on this whole brigade thing. So why do I find myself eagerly commuting to the clubroom? Why? Is it simply what you call habit? Hey! These two can't be that bored, can they? Can't say I'm not bored either, but...
Where's Miss Suzumiya?
Don't know. By the time I managed to get to our 6th period class, she wasn't there. How much you want to bet she's out there right now extorting more gear from somebody?
Will I be forced to do something like yesterday?
You'll be fine, trust me. I'm not gonna let anything like that happen to you ever again.
You mean you'll protect me? Oh, thank you so much. Guess I'll be counting on you then.
It's an honor to be counted on.
Yahoo!
Yahoo?
First, take a look at this.
SOS Brigade, an explanation of our general policies.
And now for this. Ta-da-da-da-da-da! We're gonna pass out flyers wearing these.
Where at?
The main gate. There's a bunch of students still hanging out on campus.
And what exactly are we wearing?
You're not the one wearing it. I got this outfit from Mikuru. What? A bunny girl costume? How am I supposed to? Come on, put it on. Get dressed. Shut up and strip. Come on, girl.
Hey, Suzumiya, stop it!
Please, no. Don't run. It's struggling. You can come in now.
She's like an evil overlord.
Well, think we'll get some attention now or what?
Don't think there'll be a problem. Nagato wasn't into it?
Nah, I can only afford 2 of them. I got the deluxe set, so they were expensive.
Where'd you buy these things?
I got them online.
I see.
Well, we'll be going now. Come on, Mikuru, let's head out. Let's go. Yeah.
Sorry. Honestly, though, that outfit's killing me right now. My passion is going through the roof here. It's still warm from your body heat. Oh. The SOS Brigade, an explanation of our general policies. We, the SOS Brigade,
We're committed to seeking out mysteries in this universe. To anyone who has experienced strange phenomena in the past, anyone who has had a mysterious experience recently, or anyone who plans on having a weird experience in the future. If any of the above applies to you, come see us. We'll help you find the answers you need fast. However, if your mystery is ordinary, we can't help you. We only accept phenomena and or mysteries that freak us out. Please keep that in mind.
I think I'm starting to understand the reason for this brigade's existence.
They piss me off so much. I mean, what's with those stupid teachers? They're always butting in.
What happened out there? Did you guys get into trouble?
Unbelievable! We passed out half our flyers and teachers came out of nowhere telling us to stop. Who do they think they are?
If 2 girls in bunny suits are passing out flyers in front of the school, everybody'd come running to check that out.
Mikuru starts sobbing. I get yanked into detention, and Okabe, that handball freak, comes over.
I'm sure they didn't know what to keep their eyes focused on.
Well, I guess that's it for today. Dismissed! How long are you gonna cry anyway? Let's go. Take it out. Come on. Say, Kyun, if I find I'm unable to get married after all this, would you be willing to marry me?
What should I say? Miss Asahina, you look like you just found out you didn't get accepted into college. Or like someone who's lost her job the day after buying her dream house. Wait. Oh man, now you're calling me Kyun too. By the next day, the name Haruhi Suzumiya had become infamous. Now everyone in school was talking about her.
Hey there, Kyun. Hate to say it, but it looks like you've gone and done it. You've become one of Suzumiya's gang of weirdos, huh?
Oh, shut up. The sucky thing about being part of all this is that my name and Miss Asahina's are now floating around the campus, too.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing yesterday. A couple of bunny girls hanging out by the school's main gate. I mean, the girl in red was Makoto Asahina, wasn't it?
Now everybody in school's talking about you guys, Kyon. Everybody.
What exactly is this SOS Brigade?
You're gonna have to ask Suzumiya. I really don't know. I don't even want to know.
Well, it definitely looks like you guys are having a lot of fun. But you know, yesterday's stunt was a little overboard.
That day, Miss Asahina didn't show up to school.
Unbelievable, not a single email after all that publicity.
After publicity like that, I don't think anyone's gonna want anything to do with us. Have to admit, though, that stunt caught everyone's attention.
Hang on, where's Mikuru? Didn't she come to school?
She might never show up again. Hope she wasn't too traumatized by all this.
And I even got a new outfit for her to wear today, too.
Why don't you wear it yourself, then?
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna wear it. It just isn't any fun if Mikuru isn't here.
Why don't you have Nagato wear it? I doubt she'd have any complaints. In fact, I don't think I'd mind seeing her wear it.
Ah! I got the SOS Brigade up and running, and now we're just sitting around. What is it? Everybody holding out on me or something? Keeping their mysteries to themselves.
Okay, Haruhi. Look, ask anybody in this room and they'd say, sure, mysteries, why not? But an ordinary high school like ours isn't gonna have a bunch of weirdness just stacked in a corner somewhere for you. You know that, right? I mean, you do realize that, don't you? You don't have any place to channel all that adolescent frustration boiling inside you. Isn't that what's really fueling all this impulsive behavior? Snap out of it. Go find yourself a good-looking guy and let him walk you home from school. Heck, go see a movie with him on Sunday or something. Or why don't you try sports? Get on one of the teams and give him hell out in the field. I'm sure you'll make the starting lineup on any varsity team you pick.
I'm going home.
Well, I guess I'll head out too.
Did you read it?
What?
Look,
Oh, no, I haven't yet. Do you want me to give it back to you?
that will not be necessary.
When Yuki does talk, she has a tendency to avoid the pitfalls of idle conversation.
Please read it today. As soon as you get home.
All right, I will. I'm meeting with someone at the station, and don't talk with your mouth full. I'm sorry. Was today the day? You weren't waiting for me here last night as well, were you? Well, why'd you pick this place to meet up?
Follow me.
So, where are your folks?
They're not here.
Yeah, I know they're not here right now, but did they go somewhere?
Actually, I am the only one who is ever here.
You live by yourself?
Yes.
So what is it you wanted to see me about?
Drink it. Is it good?
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna explode. Okay, you think it's about time you got around to telling me why you wanted me to come all the way out here? Were you uncomfortable talking to me at school about it or something?
It's about Haruhi Suzumiya. And in addition, it is about myself. That is what I would like to talk about.
Okay, you and Suzumiya. So what's up?
It is difficult to find the intellect. The entity carefully yet thoroughly continued its observations. 3 years ago, they noticed an abnormal flare-up of data on the surface of the planet. This explosion of information started from one area of a bow-shaped archipelago, then quickly enveloped the entire planet and surged further outward into space. In the center of all this was... For the 3 years since, multiple investigations and observations have occurred regarding Haruhi Suzumiya. However, she remains an enigma. Regardless, one section of the entity, continues to perform its analysis of Haruhi Suzumiya. The entity believes she will be the key to humankind's auto-evolution as well as its own. Because the entity is an astral being, it cannot directly communicate with organic life forms. The entity does not communicate through language, and your kind has no way of communicating without language. That is why the Data Integration Thought Entity created interfaces such as myself. Through me, it can make contact with the human species. We believe that Haruhi Suzumiya has the potential for auto-evolution. She has the power to manipulate the environmental data around her for her benefit. That is the reason why I am here, and the reason why you are here.
Hold it. Just hang on a sec. I'm totally lost.
Trust me.
Okay, first of all, why me? I mean, for starters, let's just say I believe all the stuff you're telling me about this data-integrated whatchamahoosit thingy in space. But if it's true, why reveal your identity to me?
You have been chosen by Haruhi Suzumiya. Whether she knows it or not, Haruhi Suzumiya has the power to affect her surroundings by transforming her will into absolute data. There is a reason she chose you rather than someone else.
No way.
Wait. You and Haruhi Suzumiya have the possibilities in your hands.
You're serious about all this?
Of course.
Here I am, amazed that the silent one had finally started talking. But the stuff that was coming out of her mouth was completely wacko. I never imagined she'd be so out there. You know, you'd really make Haruhi ecstatic if you went up to her personally and told her all this stuff. Hate to say it, but I'm having a hard time keeping up with this kind of talk. It's so confusing.
The Data Integration Thought Entity is under the impression that if Haruhi Suzumiya is made aware of her worth and her abilities, it would create a catastrophic event. For now, we must continue our observations unbeknownst to her.
Okay, but I could run out right now and tell Haruhi everything you just explained to me.
She does not take the information you feed her seriously.
That's true.
I am not the only interface that the Data Integration Thought Entity has placed upon this planet. Another section of the entity is determined to use more proactive methods with Haruhi Suzumiya in order to observe the fluctuations of data. You are the key to Haruhi Suzumiya. If there is danger, you are the first target.
I'm out of here. Humanoid what? Aliens. She's always by herself reading this stuff. Maybe that's where her weird fantasies come from. I'll bet that when she's in class, she doesn't talk to anybody. She just stays cooped up in her own little world. Yuki and Haruhi need to just chill out and enjoy some plain old ordinary school life.
I can't believe it! He's finally here! Isn't it amazing? The mysterious transfer student! It's gotta be!
You haven't even seen him yet. How do you know he's mysterious?
Like I said, a student who transfers during this strange in-between time in the middle of school has a good chance of being a mysterious transfer student!
If you don't mind, I want to know just who gave you that statistic. Because if it's true, and you take into account all the mysterious people in Japan, then everyone will consider...
I'm gonna go check it out!
And you're not listening, are you? After school, when I stopped by the club, Miss Asahina had heroically recovered after only one day. I'm surprised to see you back here after everything that happened.
Yeah, but after thinking about it, I realized I still had concerns.
I can swear she said that before. What are you concerned about?
It's nothing. Huh?
You want to sit in for a game? So, Nagato, you ever play Othello?
Sorry to keep you waiting! Someone transferred in the freshman class 9 today, and he's joining us! His name is...
Mitsuki Koizumi. How do you do?
This is the SOS Brigade. I'm Haruhi Suzumiya, the brigade leader, and these are brigade members number 1, 2, and 3. By the way, you're member number 4. Everyone should make him feel right at home.
I don't mind joining you guys, but I was wondering what kind of club this is anyway.
Let me tell you exactly what the SOS Brigade is all about. Attention! The SOS Brigade's mission is to find aliens, time travelers, and aspirants and hang out with them.
It's as if the whole world had come to a grinding halt. No, not really. But I was reminded of Haruhi's declaration on the first day of school.
Oh, I get it. As expected from Miss Suzumiya.
What did he just get?
All right, I'll join your club, and I hope to have a good time with all of you.
What? Even after what she just said? Was he even listening?
Nice to meet you. I'm Mitsuki Koizumi, and I just transferred here. There's still a lot I don't know, so I hope you'll show me the ropes.
Yeah.
That's Kyon. And the cute one is Mikuru, and the one over there with the glasses is Yuki.
Oh my, are you all right?
We've got 5 members now, and that means we're an official extracurricular club. I'm fine, really, thanks. Yay! The time has finally come for the SOS Brigade to be unveiled. Brigaders, get ready to do your best and fight as one!
Fighting? Unveiled? And now Nagato's become a member. I mean, are you sure you're okay with that, Nagato? Moving right along. It's now after school the following day.
Hurry up! Take it closer!
Sorry.
When it comes to Mola, the maid costume is essential. You need one in every school-based story.
What kind of school-based story is this?
And now, it's time for pictures! What? Don't see the picture! Chin down a bit. Good. Grab hold of the apron. See the smile. Work it. Joan, take over for me, okay? Mikuru, let's make things a little sexier. Come on, it's okay.
There's nothing okay about it. Yeah, I should talk. I'm the one taking the pictures.
Yuki, give me your glasses. Here we go.
And glasses are on. What is she planning to do with these photos anyway?
Yeah, perfect. A glasses wearing Lolita maid with great boobs. This is so awesome. From now on, Mikuru, whenever you're in this room, you've got to wear this outfit.
What's going on here?
All right, now we're talking. Let's all have some fun with Mikuru.
That's enough.
Thanks for the offer, but I'll pass. I'd be afraid of the consequences. Please continue, though. Don't mind me.
I could use a little help here. Haven't you had enough? Just cut it out already. You gotta be breaking several laws here.
What are you talking about? Whatever. I got a lot of photos anyway. Okay, the very first meeting of the SOS Brigade is about to begin. We did a lot to come this far this fast. We passed out flyers, we made a website, and now we see that the SOS Brigade's fame at this school has skyrocketed. Sure, you can
I
see
wonder
the
what
phase
part of
one.
traumatizing these Asahina makes this a big success.
However, we haven't gotten a single email concerning strange phenomena. Also, not even one student's come by yet to consult us about anything weird or otherwise.
Yeah, go figure. I mean, it's not exactly clear what we're even supposed to be doing. After all, we just found out what this club is for yesterday.
Sure, people like to say stuff like good things come to those who wait. But in these times, we cannot sit and wait. We must find those good things even if we have to dig up every inch of this earth. So then, let's go search for them.
For what?
The mysteries of this world.
And with that, we are now going on a tour around the city in search of mystery and phenomena. On Saturday, meet at 9 a.m. in front of Kitabuchi Station. Those who arrive late shall receive the death penalty. Death penalty? You know, I really hate to waste a day off.
You're late. Penalty.
Haruhi's proposal. Split off into groups of 2. Search the city for mysterious phenomena. If we find any, alert the others via cell phone. That is all.
I guess we got our groups.
It might be a lucky day for me after all. I mean, if I can go on a date with Miss Asahina, treating everyone to lunch because I was late is a small price to pay.
Joan, are you paying attention? Could you be serious here? This isn't a date. Got it?
Yeah, I hear ya.
Look, this isn't fun and games. You mess around and I'll kill ya.
And with those parting words, Haruhi's team left to investigate the east side of the station, while Miss Asahina and I were ordered to search the west side. However...
What should we do?
Beats me.
This is the first time I've ever gone for a walk like this.
By like this, you mean...
Out walking alone with the boy.
Come on, I can't believe that. You're telling me that you've never gone out on a date with anyone before?
Never.
You're kidding, right? I mean, don't you have guys just lining up to ask you out?
But I can't do it. You see, I'm not supposed to go out on dates with anyone. At least not in this... Joan, I've got a favor to ask of you.
After a couple of false starts, Miss Asahina finally started putting her words into complete sentences and began to explain.
You might not believe a word I'm about to say, but the truth is I'm not actually from this time plane. I come from the future. I can't tell you from which time period or time plane I come from, though. Telling anything about the future to anyone from the past is restricted. I was told this before I boarded the time machine. Think of it as being a lot like animation. The pictures look like they're in motion, right? But it's just a series of still frames laid out in a sequence. The time is just like that, just a zero. That's why time traveling is moving in a three-dimensional direction along the various time planes. I'm here in the future. That means on this time plane, I'm sort of like an extra picture in the middle of one of those flip-book animation things.
What is it now?
As for me, I'm here because a large time quake happened 3 years ago. Oh, that's 3 years ago from the current time in this plane. We arrived in the past to investigate, and we were surprised once we got here. No matter how hard we tried, we couldn't go further back in time from that plane. The conclusion was that there had to be a large time gap between the time planes. It wasn't until recently that we found the thing that caused it. That is, recently in the future, where I come from.
So what is the reason?
Miss Suzumiya.
Not again.
She was at the very center of the time distortion. And I can't explain any more of this to you because it's classified information. But we are certain that it was Miss Suzumiya who closed her access to the past.
It's hard to believe Haruhi would be able to do something like that.
Believe me, it's a mystery to us as well. And Miss Suzumiya doesn't realize that she's the cause of the time quake either. That's where I come in. I was sent here to see whether or not there'll be any new time anomalies occurring near Miss Suzumiya. I guess I'm kind of like a watchdog. I'll understand if you don't want to believe what I just told you.
No, it's not that. It's just, why are you telling me?
Because you're the one that Miss Suzumiya has chosen. I can't explain because it's classified information, but you're very important to Miss Suzumiya. There are reasons behind everything she does. Every time she raises her hand or takes a step.
What about Nagato and the new guy?
Oh, well, they're in very similar positions to me. I never expected expected Miss Suzumiya to get us all together in such a precise manner, though.
So that means you know who or what both of them really are, right?
That's classified.
Can you tell me what's going to happen to Haruhi?
That's classified.
Well, if you're from the future, you already know what happens, right?
That's classified.
Well then, why don't you just tell Haruhi all this stuff?
That's classified. I'm sorry, but I'm not authorized to say anything right now. You don't have to believe me. I just wanted you to know about it, that's all.
I just heard the same thing a couple of days ago, didn't I?
I'm sorry to dump all this on you like I did.
Don't apologize, I don't mind. So now we've got an alien and a time traveler. What's going on here? If there's anybody out there who believes in all this stuff, please call me. We'll trade places. Miss Asahina.
Yes?
You mind if we put all this on hold? I mean, is it okay if we just put aside whether I believe you or not, and just get back to it later?
Sure.
Before we do, can I ask you one question?
Yes, what is it?
If you wouldn't mind, could you tell me how old you really are?
That's classified.
After that little conversation, Haruhi called me on my cell, and we all got together again at noon.
Find anything?
Nothing.
Were you guys really looking? I hope you weren't just wandering around me, Kudu. No.
What about you? Did you find anything? While we ate lunch, Haruhi said she wanted to split up into groups again.
An unmarked one again.
We'll meet back at the station at 4. Make sure to find something this time, you got that?
This time, we split up to search the north end and the south end. Nagato and me took the south side. You know what you told me about the other day?
What?
Well, suddenly I find myself thinking that it doesn't really sound so far-fetched anymore. If I have to pass the time with Nagato, this is about the only place to do it. Oh, brother.
What time do you think it is, you idiot?
Sorry, but I actually just woke up.
What did you just say to me?
We were supposed to meet you at 4, right?
Get your butt back here! You got 30 seconds!
I had my work cut out for me. We had to leave, but getting Nagato to move when she's reading is impossible. First, I had to get her a library card so she could check out the book. Meanwhile, I had to ignore the incessant calls from Haruhi.
Late! Penalty!
In the end, we didn't find anything even remotely close to phenomena. The day's activities were a waste of both my time and my money. Before we split up, though, Miss Asahina
I wanted to thank you for listening to my story today.
whispered into my ear, which felt pretty good if I may say so.
All right, spit it out. What were you doing today?
Wait a minute, what about you? Were you able to find any of your mysterious phenomena today? Well, they wouldn't be careless enough to let you find them in one day, right? I mean, what did you expect anyway?
We're gonna need to review your behavior on Monday.
And with that, she stormed off. You're kidding me. The weekend was over, and I was sweating from all the humidity this morning. Oh, the rainy season. Haruhi walked in right before the final bell rang.
Send me some of that breeze.
You're on your own there. Hey, Suzumiya, ever happened to hear the story about the bluebird of happiness?
What about it?
Never mind, it doesn't have to do with anything.
Then don't talk about it.
After being showered from behind by Haruhi's aura of unpleasantness all day, I fled to the safety of the clubroom, much like a rat running from a brush fire. There was someone I needed to talk to. Koizumi, don't you also have something you want to talk to me about regarding Suzumiya?
I get the feeling that the other two have already talked to you about her. Am I right?
Yeah,
Well, how much do you know?
just that Suzumiya isn't your ordinary person.
Good. That'll make my side of things easier, because that's definitely the case.
How about you start by telling me who you really are?
Well, as you might have already guessed, I'm what's called an Esper. It's best we call it that for now, okay? To tell you the truth, I wasn't planning on transferring into this school so suddenly, but the circumstances have changed. And I have to say that I really didn't expect the two of them to join up with Haruhi Suzumiya so quickly. Either way, I'm sure we're going to have the chance to talk more about all this later. A picture's worth 1,000 words, they say, and I definitely have something to show you. But for now, I think I'll give you the short version. The organization that I belong to has other espers besides yours truly. Actually, the school's already been secretly infiltrated by a bunch of us agents, and ever since the organization started up 3 years ago, we've been watching over Miss Suzumiya. 3 years ago, that's when something very interesting happened. And that is also when the powers I have now awakened inside me.
How is Haruhi involved in whatever happened 3 years ago?
You see, the elders in the organization believe that this world is sort of like a dream that a certain entity is showing us. Because it's all just a dream, it'd be quite easy for that entity to alter our reality. It could change it, destroy it, even create a new world. And we're pretty sure that we found that entity right here.
You're saying that's Haruhi?
For millennia, people have referred to such an entity as God or something similar.
Well done, Haruhi. You got people calling you a god now.
Just look at it this way for a moment. You got espers like me as well as beings like Mikuru Asahina and Yuki Nagato all hanging around in the same place. You think it's simply coincidence that we've all come together like this? It's all happening because Miss Suzumiya wished it. She wished for it 3 years ago.
So are you saying that Haruhi remodeled the universe 3 years ago?
Well, it would be more accurate to say that this world started 3 years ago. It's better than saying it was remodeled. Anyway, it's just a theory us Espers have.
Whatever. And just what do you Esper guys want to do with Haruhi?
Listen, if this world upsets its god, it'd be destroyed and recreated in the blink of an eye. We want to prevent that from happening. I mean, I kind of like this place. What's not, you know?
Why don't you just walk up to Haruhi and talk to her about it?
Well, there are some members in the organization that think we should do just that, and others think that we should be more aggressive in stimulating her powers. Either way, most of us think that this is definitely not something that we can easily get involved with. The bottom line is that she doesn't yet realize her true potential. If that's the case, the organization feels it'd be best if she never finds out about her powers and lives happily ever after.
You're gonna let sleeping gods lie, huh?
Good way of putting it.
You sure you guys aren't the ones dreaming this world up?
I guess that's also a possibility. But as of right here, right now, we're simply acting on the worst of worst-case scenarios that we can come up with.
I got an idea. You're telling me... Wrong. Actually, something weird was quietly lurking just around the corner.
Well, so guys,
That morning, as I talked to Haruhi, I was actually thinking about something else.
And now, without an enemy, Umako Sagano became tremendously arrogant.
Didn't something like this happen before? Yo. It was pretty obvious the handwriting wasn't Nagato's. Besides, she's not really the type to go around putting messages in a guy's shoe locker. Could it have been Miss Asahina? Nah, no way. She'd set a specific time to meet, and I doubt she'd scribble it on paper torn out of a memo pad.
It's so
Haruhi.
hot!
Impossible. She'd just grab me by the collar and drag me over to the stairwell, just like the last time. And Koizumi would just say, hey, let's talk.
We definitely need an air conditioner.
Clearly, it's not a love letter. All I know is it's requesting my presence at a specific location. Wait a sec. Maybe Taniguchi and Kunikida are playing some kind of joke. Yeah, that's it. That's the most logical possibility. Although, I'd expect more if those two were involved.
Wait, what the heck's that?
What? They're just pictures. They're totally cute shots of Mikuru.
Yeah, I see that. What the hell are you doing with these?
I'm loading them onto the main page of our website. Now we'll get tons of email about cool, weird happenings. Our site will get tens of thousands of hits. The counter will grow so high it'll be built. Wonder if the counter even goes that high. Wait! What are you doing, you idiot?
I'm putting an end to this. If Miss Asahina found out that the entire planet could see pictures of her wearing that maid outfit, in stunning poses I might add, she would pass out on the spot. Haruhi glared at me as I feverishly tried to explain to her why this was such a bad thing. In the end, I don't know if she understood how dangerous it was to put such personal stuff on the internet, where any creep could access it.
Fine, whatever.
She reluctantly agreed to trash it. Now, this would have been the time to delete all the photos once and for all, but it would be a shame to waste them. There.
That's it. I'm going home.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Did something happen?
No, everything's A-okay. An evil conspiracy's just been vanquished. Since we had nothing to do, I was playing Othello with Miss Asahina when Koizumi came in, and with that smile of his.
Sorry, guys, but I gotta leave early today to go to work.
I wonder what kind of job he's got.
I'm gonna change, so don't wait for me.
Taking advantage of Miss Asahina's request, I bolted from the room. Seeing her standing there caught me off guard, to say the least.
Why didn't you come in?
It was you.
Yes, I'm surprised.
What do you want?
I wanted to talk to you about something. Actually, it's a question I had. It's about Miss Suzumiya. What do you think of her?
Oh, brother, she's on to Suzumiya as well.
People always say that it's much better to regret something you did rather than regret something you didn't do. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm not really sure people always say that, but I think it means what it means.
Well then, let's pretend if you knew that if you kept things exactly the same as they are right now, you'd be completely broke. And let's say that you just didn't know how you could possibly make things any better. I wonder what you'd do about that.
I don't understand. Are you talking about the Japanese economy?
As a start, wouldn't you think about trying to change something? Anything? I mean, nothing is going to change if you stay the same, right?
Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to put it that way.
And you agree with me. But you know, my superiors are extremely stubborn and lack any vision whatsoever. But you can't have that kind of thinking out in the field. If you just twiddle your thumbs, things will go from bad to worse. And if that's the case, wouldn't it be okay to force change to happen when you know that it's all for the best?
What's she talking about? Is there a hidden camera in here? Is Taniguchi hiding in the closet laughing at me right now?
I'm getting bored and just fed up watching something that doesn't seem to be changing at all. That's why I'm going to kill you and see how Miss Suzumiya reacts.
What the hell? Is she serious? Oh, wait, hang on. What just happened? Why is Asakura coming after me with a knife? Oh, wait a minute. What did she just say? I'm gonna kill you? Nase, why? Stop kidding around. You're gonna hurt someone with that. Even if that's a rubber knife, you're scaring the hell out of me.
You think it's a joke? You don't want to die? You don't want me to kill you? I'm sorry, but I just don't understand the concept of death regarding organic life forms.
Okay, this isn't funny anymore. I don't know why you're doing this, but please, just put the knife down.
I can't. Because whether you care about it or not, I really do want you to die. It's useless. Right now, I have the control over the flow of the data in this space. Nothing can enter, nothing can leave.
I have no idea what's going on here. If anybody understands, get the hell over here and explain it to me.
Oh, please, won't you just give up? You're going to die no matter what, so let me kill you.
Just what the hell are you, anyway?
I already told you it's useless. Everything in this classroom is now under my control.
Wait. What the hell's going on? She's gonna kill me to see how Haruhi reacts? Haruhi, man, she's popular. And if that's the case, then why am I the one that's gonna die?
Silly me, I should have done this from the get-go.
I can't move. Wait, that's not fair.
Your death is the perfect way to make Haruhi Suzumiya take some sort of action, you see? Finally, I'll be able to observe a huge explosion of data. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Tell me about it.
Now you die.
Ow, that hurt! Wait, what? I can move. Naruto?
There are flaws in your program. Your data shut down and spatial blockades are faulty. It is how I detected you, why I was allowed inside. You won't stop me? But if I kill this human, Haruhi Suzumiya is bound to do something interesting. It's the only way for us to acquire more information. You are supposed to be my backup unit. You are not permitted to act on your own. You'll obey my orders. What if I said no? Your data link will be terminated. Would you like to try? And here I have the upper hand. This classroom is a space where I control the data. Commence request for data link termination.
It was right about this time that I was thinking to myself, oh man, these girls really aren't human.
Stay behind me. You cannot defeat me while we're in this space. Hostile interface named Ryoko Asakura. Terminating data links to organic life form. I'll stop your functions before that happens. How long will you last if you're protecting him while fighting me?
Nagato!
You need to stay right where you are. I'm fine.
No, you don't look fine at all.
With that much damage, I'm afraid you won't be able to interfere with any other data. Well, I'll finish it. Now you die. It's over. What's over? Do you mean your life for the last 3 years? No. Commence termination of data link. It can't be. You were an advanced interface. That is why it took so long to hack into this time-space program. But it's over now. You modified your program with a detonation element, didn't you? I thought you seemed weak, but that explains it. That's the reason you used all of your attack data when we started to fight. Wow, this is a shame. I guess I really was just a backup interface. I thought this was my big chance to get something to finally happen around here. I guess I lost. Aren't you happy you get to keep living? But please be careful, though. The data integration thought entity has more interfaces that are just like me. Someday you might meet another interface that also seeks radical change. Or perhaps the one pulling Nagato's strings will change his mind. Till then, enjoy your life with Miss Suzumiya. Goodbye.
Hey, Nagato! Hang on! I'll get some help!
No, my physical injuries are not critical. This space needs to be corrected before I do anything else. The corrupt data must be removed and the classroom rebuilt.
Are you sure you're really okay?
All processing power is engaged with manipulating and overwriting data. This interface will be repaired shortly after. Repair in progress.
What's wrong?
I forgot to recreate the glasses.
Actually, I think you look cuter without those things. I don't really have a glasses fetish anyway.
What is a glasses fetish?
It's nothing. Never mind. Just forget it.
I see.
What is up? 9444 got my bag.
Mom, Dad, if you saw how Nagato and me are positioned in the frame, I know you'd think we were getting it on right now.
Okay. Take your time!
Interesting human.
Oh man, what are we gonna do?
Leave it to me. I'm adept at controlling data. I'll make it so Asakura suddenly transfers.
No, not that. Okay, I need to calm down now. As for the last 10 minutes, I think it's safe to say I experienced something extraordinary. This isn't a problem about whether or not I believe that crazy story Nagato told me the other day, or any of her other delusions. No, what happened just now made me realize what real danger feels like. I was 5 seconds away from dying. There's no longer any doubt in my mind that Nagato is an alien, or is at least involved with aliens in some fashion. The next day, Ryoko Asakura was mysteriously absent from class.
Almost overnight, it seems. She transferred out.
You hear that? A mystery!
Filled with boundless energy, Haruhi had that glimmer in her eye again. What should I do? Should I tell her the truth? No way. Actually, I don't want to tell her. I keep hoping that everything I saw was just a hallucination.
This is too good to be true. First a mysterious student transfers in, now a girl mysteriously transfers out. We are so investigating this.
Right now, I can't deal with the extra work. I have another matter, a pending inquiry, if you will, that I'm mulling over.
What's with you?
It's nothing. Today's communique was conveniently housed within an envelope. I found it in my shoe locker, just like the note from yesterday. I mean, seriously, is putting notes in people's shoe lockers some new trend? Well, thing is, this time around, it's different. I have to be careful. I don't want to waltz in there just to face another life-or-death situation. It doesn't matter, though, because I'm going anyway. I mean, Miss Asahina wanted to see me in private. Now, I don't have any proof that Miss Asahina actually sent this letter, but I know in my gut that she did, okay? She's definitely the type that would send little notes to people, and the image I'm seeing of her scribbling away on super cute stationery fits her personality to a T. Besides, it's the club room. Nagato's gonna be there. Well, here goes nothing.
Come in. Hi, Joan. It's been ages.
She sure looks like Miss Asahina, but she definitely is not Miss Asahina. Are you Miss Asahina's big sister?
But it's me, Joan. I'm Mikuru Asahina. I'm the me from the future that's a little further down from the me you know right now. I wanted to see you. Hey, you don't trust me? Okay, then I'll prove it. See? I've got a tiny star-shaped mole right here. It's not a fake mole either. Want to touch it?
Supersize me!
Do you believe me now?
Whether I believe her or not, I don't recall where Miss Asahina keeps her moles. The only time I was able to see that much of her body was when she was cosplaying as a bunny girl. And that other time when I peeked in and she changed, which wasn't my fault. I never saw any moles because I never made it a point to go looking for them.
Oh, well, I remember that you were the one who told me that I had a mole here. I didn't even know I had one there until you... I just... Oh, no. This is before we... Oh, what have I done? I totally screwed up just now. I'm sorry, Cute. Just forget everything I said, okay?
Easy for you to say. It's all right, really. I believe you, I do. The truth is, with everything that's going on, I'm in the right frame of mind to believe just about anything today. Wait, if you're standing here, that means there's 2 Miss Asahinas in the same time plane, right?
Right. The past, I mean, the me from the past, the younger me, right now she's eating lunch in my old classroom with all her classmates. There's something important I had to tell you, so I pulled some strings and they finally let me come back to this time plane again. If you're wondering, I asked Miss Nagato to step out for a bit.
Wait, Miss Asahina, you know about Nagato?
Sorry, that's classified. Wow, it's been forever since I last said that.
Funny, I heard you say it a couple of days ago.
I won't be able to stay here much longer, so listen, because this is important. Do you know the story of Snow White?
Yeah, sure I do.
From now on, if you ever find yourself in danger, I want you to remember those words. Can you do that?
Okay, the 7 dwarves, the Wicked Witch, the Poison Apple, and all that stuff?
That's right. The story about Snow White.
Well, if you're talking about serious danger, I just said some of that yesterday.
That's not the one I'm talking about. It's worse. Let's see. I can't give you any details, but when the time comes, Miss Suzumiya should be at your side.
Huh? You mean me and Haruhi? What's gonna happen?
When it does happen, Miss Suzumiya probably won't consider the event to be all that dangerous. But it will be, and not just for you and her, but for all of us, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, come on. Can't you give me any more details? Is that classified too?
I am sorry, but I thought that if I at least gave you a hint, this is the best I can do.
So that's why you're telling me about Snow White?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to remember.
amazed I could wear something like this. It's out of the question now.
Well then, can you tell me what other kinds of outfits Haruhi made you wear?
That's a secret. It's just too embarrassing. Besides, you'll find out soon enough. Well, I better go. Something else I need to tell you. Don't get too friendly with me, okay?
Wait, I just want to know something! Miss Asahina, how old are you right now?
That's classified.
That was a smile that would make anyone who saw it fall in love.
It's been ages.
In other words, the high school version of Miss Asahina is going to return to her time in the future. I wonder when that's going to happen. And how many years between the one that's in school with me and the one I just met? From the way she looked just now, it could be 3 or even 5 years. Women change so drastically when they graduate from high school. Better get back to the classroom. Man, I'm really hungry. Hey, you didn't happen to pass someone in the hall just now that looked a lot like Miss Asahina, did you?
The Mikuru Asahina from another time plane. I met her this morning.
I never asked you before, but can you time travel like her? Can that data thing time travel too?
I am unable to. However, time travel is not that difficult to accomplish.
I'd like some tips on how to do it.
Language cannot explain the concept, nor are you able to understand it.
Is that so?
It is so.
Then I guess it's my loss.
Your loss.
Nagato, thanks again for yesterday.
Don't thank me. Asakura's abnormal behavior was my responsibility. I failed.
I really think you look better without glasses.
Well, what are you waiting for? I'm telling you, it's strange. Transferring to Canada out of nowhere, and they didn't even tell anybody their new address.
I know, I heard you already.
Well, hang on, because it gets even stranger. Asakura didn't go to the junior high schools in this city before starting North High.
Well, of course she didn't.
I snooped around and found out that she came to our school from a city outside our school zone. That's totally suspicious. It's not like North High's a famous prep school. It's just a plain old public school you can find anywhere. So why would she want to go to our school?
Dunno.
I can't believe it. She lived really close to the school. And she lived in a condo. It's not a monthly deal like an apartment. This location's nice, so it's not cheap. Did she commute from here to junior high in another city?
I said I don't know.
It looks like we have to investigate how long Asakura's lived here, too.
What are you doing? The place is empty. It's not gonna open. I really think we're wasting our time here.
Then we're going to the manager's office.
Do you honestly think they're just gonna hand over the keys?
No, I'm gonna ask the manager how long Asakura lived here. Come on.
Let's just give up and go home. Even if we find out, there's nothing we can really do about it.
Move it! We're both friends of Miss Ryoko Asakura, who lived here, and we heard she moved away suddenly. And we're wondering if you could help us with something. We need to get a hold of her, but she didn't leave us her address. Did she happen to tell you where she was moving? Also, I was wondering if you could tell us if you knew how long Miss Asakura has lived here.
Wow, I wasn't really expecting her to be so lucid.
We want to know what Miss Ryoko Asakura's new address is, and we want to know how long she lived here.
Ah, that's right. You mean Miss Asakura in number 505. Funny thing about that, I don't recall seeing any moving van out front, but the place was emptied out. That really surprised me.
Wow, that's strange. No moving van?
Don't know where she moved to either. I don't know where to forward any of their mail or packages that might show up. It's all a bit troubling.
Do you know how long she lived in number 505?
I'm thinking maybe since 3 years ago. I remember well because a pretty young girl came by with a box of old-fashioned sweets for me.
What about her parents? Did both of them work? Do you happen to know what her mother and father did for a living?
Not a clue. Come to think, I only saw the girl every now and again. And I never saw her parents, never even said hello to them.
The condos here are pretty expensive, aren't they? I doubt that anyone would take out a loan for a place like this just for their daughter to live all by herself.
They paid cash. They paid for the whole thing up front in cold, hard cash. I always thought the family was filthy rich.
Maybe she should be a detective. She sure knows how to get answers.
At least I wish I could have said goodbye to her. It's a shame, you know. By the way, you're quite a looker if you don't mind me saying so.
Thank you very much for all of your time, sir.
Hey, boy. That one's gonna grow up to be a heck of a catch. Don't you let her get away now, here.
Yuki?
Wow, she actually eats food.
I had no idea you lived in this building. What a coincidence.
I really doubt it's a coincidence.
Have you heard anything about what happened to Asakura? You know she transferred out today, right? I see. Well, if you find anything out, let me know. You got it? What happened to your glasses?
Don't look at me. I don't know what to say.
Be careful.
Great. What do I have to be careful of now?
Let's go!
So what's next? Where are you planning on going now?
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, is it cool if I go home now?
You know, Kyung, have you ever realized just how insignificant your existence on this planet really is?
Now what is she talking about?
It happened to me, and I'll never forget it. Back when I was in the 6th grade, my whole family went out to go watch a baseball game at the stadium. I didn't really care about baseball, but I was surprised by what I saw when we got there. Everywhere I looked, I saw people. On the other side of the stadium, the people looked so small, like little moving grains of rice. It was so crowded. I thought that everyone in Japan had to be packed in there. So I turned to my dad and asked him, "Do you know how many people are here right now?" He said since the stadium was full, probably 50,000. After the game, the street was filled with people, and I was really shocked to see that too. To me, it seemed like there was a ton of people there, but then I realized it could only be a tiny fraction of all the people in Japan. When I got home, I pulled out my calculator. In social studies, I'd learned that the population of Japan was 100-some-odd million, so I divided that by 50,000. The answer was 1/2000th. That shocked me even more. I was only one little person in that big crowded stadium filled with people, and believe me, there were so many people there, but it was just a handful of the entire population. Up till then, I always thought that I was, I don't know, kind of a special person. It was fun to be with my family. I had fun with my classmates, and the school that I was going to, it had just about the most interesting people anywhere. But that night, I realized it wasn't true. All the stuff we did during class that I thought was so fun and cool was probably happening just like that in classes in other schools all over Japan. There was nothing special about my school at all. When I realized that, it suddenly felt like the whole world around me started to fade into a dull gray void. Brushing my teeth and going to sleep at night, waking up and eating breakfast in the morning, that stuff happened all over the place. They were everyday things that everybody was doing. When I thought about it like that, everything became boring. If there's really that many people in the world, then there had to be someone who wasn't ordinary. There had to be someone who was living an interesting life. There just had to be. But why wasn't I that person? So, that's how I felt till I finished elementary school. And then I had another realization. I realized fun things wouldn't come my way just by waiting for them. I thought when I got into junior high, it was time for me to make a change. I'd let the world know I wasn't a girl who was happy sitting around waiting. And I've done my best to become that person. But in the end, nothing happened. More time went by, and before I knew it, I was in high school. I thought that something would change.
The passing train gave me a moment to think about my response. Should I voice an opposing viewpoint? Maybe I should wax philosophical about her dilemma. I see. I must be getting melancholic if that's the best I could come up with.
I'm going home.
The truth is, I'd get home faster if I went that way too. But the way Haruhi was walking, well, it was like her back was telling me not to follow her. I had no other choice but to stand there all by myself until I couldn't see Haruhi's back anymore. I wonder what the hell I'm doing.
Hello there. I was thinking that perhaps today I'd make good on that promise I made you. So I've just been hanging around out here until you got home.
You're sounding a little bit like you know where I've been all day. Would you mind explaining that to me?
If it's possible, do you think you might have a little time to spare for me right now?
Is it something to do with Suzumiya?
It's something to do with Miss Suzumiya.
It's pretty amazing that this taxi showed up just when you needed it.
Yeah, weird. So the other day you asked me to show you some proof that I'm an Esper. You still want to see it? That perfect opportunity I was talking about's popped up, so I thought I'd have you join me.
Why do we need to go so far out of town to do this?
We're gonna have to drive a little ways if you want to see my abilities as an Esper. It's timing, really. A certain place, the right conditions. So now we're heading out towards just such a location, and it meets all the requirements in exactly the right ways.
Do you still think that Haruhi's some kind of god or something?
Let me ask you this. Do you know what the anthropic principle is?
Nope, never heard of it.
Okay, then here goes. Basically, this is the theory that the universe is the way it is right now simply because human beings could observe it and determine that it was the way it is. So did you get all that?
I didn't get any of it.
How about I observe, therefore the universe is, or something along those lines? In other words, on this particular world, there are sentient beings that are called humans. Now then, by discovering the laws of physics and constants, human beings can observe the fact that the universe actually exists at all. When that happens, the existence of the universe becomes apparent. Therefore, we can say, if the human beings who observed the universe hadn't actually evolved as far as they did, then there wouldn't be any observations, and the universe wouldn't have anyone to acknowledge its existence. So it wouldn't really matter if the universe existed or not. The universe is because human beings know it is. Anyway, that's the reasoning from the human perspective.
You're kidding, right? I mean, with or without humans, the universe is still the universe.
Well, that's also correct. Therefore, the anthropic principle isn't anything more than a speculative theory. However, this theory does bring up an interesting dilemma. Why was the universe created in such a way that human beings could survive in it? It would only take a slight change in the gravitational constant or particle mass ratio for the universe to not allow a planet like the Earth to exist.
Okay, you sound like one of those pamphlets from some kooky religion that's into science and technology.
Actually, I don't really believe that humans were created by a god or some omnipotent being. With all I've seen, something like that doesn't make sense. I say that, but I still have doubts.
About what?
Sometimes I get the feeling that we're all just a bunch of clowns standing on our tiptoes at the edge of a great abyss. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I don't understand a thing you just said.
The reason I went into the whole anthropic principle thing was to draw a comparison. I haven't even gotten to Miss Suzumiya yet.
And that's another thing. Why are you and Nagato and Miss Asahina all so obsessed with Haruhi?
Well, I can't speak for the others, but I think she's charming. Anyway, let's get back to business. I was wondering if you remember the stuff I once explained to you about how the world may have in fact been created by Miss Suzumiya.
Although it's annoying as hell, yeah, I do remember you saying that.
She has the power to turn anything she wishes for into a reality.
Oh, come on, you can't seriously believe that's true.
Miss Suzumiya was positive that aliens existed. And then she wished that there was such a thing. That's why Yuki Nagato's here. She wanted to meet people from the future, so she wished for that too. And that's why Mikuru Asahina showed up here. And as for myself, she wished for espers to be a reality, and lo and behold, here I am at your service, sir.
Like I said, how do you know all this anyway?
Well, about 3 years ago...
I'm a little sick of hearing about this 3 years ago crap.
3 years ago, and without any warning, I just knew I had these powers, and I also knew how I should use them. And I wasn't alone. There were other people who had the same experience as me at the same time. And get this, all of us knew that Haruhi Suzumiya was the reason for it. I can't explain why. It was just something that all of us knew.
Alright, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But I really can't see Haruhi doing that kind of stuff.
At first, we couldn't believe it ourselves either. No one could wrap their heads around the possibility that thanks to one girl, the whole universe changed, or maybe it was created. And on top of all of that, it's like there's nothing here that's special enough to hold her interest. That's the scary thing about it.
What's scary?
I told you. If you had the power to create the universe at will, you'd also have the power to destroy this world. Then you could rebuild it into whatever you wanted. If that really happened, it would mean the end of everything as we know it. Although if it does happen, we have no way of knowing that it even happened. Then again, maybe something like that has happened before. You never know. Perhaps the universe has been destroyed and rebuilt lots of times already.
Look, why don't you just tell Haruhi what you really are? I'm sure if she found out that espers were real, she'd be ecstatic. Then maybe she wouldn't think about changing the world.
Well, there's a problem with that. If Miss Suzumiya finds out about us espers and then starts thinking our powers are like some common occurrence, the world would be knee-deep in espers. Every law of physics would be twisted up like a garden hose. The entire universe would fall into chaos.
If you guys exist because Haruhi wished it, why isn't she aware of it? I mean, don't you think that's strange?
Not really. There's the part of her that wished for aliens, espers, and time travelers to be real. But she's also got a practical side that thinks those things are impossible. She's conflicted between the two. Yes, she does and says things that are eccentric. But in reality, Miss Suzumiya is just an ordinary human with a good sense of what's real and what's not. In junior high, her energy was like a sandstorm, but in the past few months, it started to calm down. I'd prefer it if she stayed calm, but now we need to face the fact that she's creating a new tornado.
What do you mean?
Hate to say it, but it's your fault.
What do I have to do with this?
What are you talking about? You're the one that gave her the idea to form this strange club. Because of the conversation she had with you, Haruhi decided that she'd create a club filled with all sorts of weird people, didn't she? Therefore, you are responsible for this. And because of that, a member from each of the 3 groups that are interested in what Haruhi Suzumiya is doing are now conveniently gathered together in one place.
So I'm the scapegoat.
Well, actually, there's more to it than that. I hate to say this after dragging you all the way out here, but if you prefer to go back, it's not too late.
You gotta be kidding me.
All right then, so could you do me a favor and close your eyes? It'll only take a couple of seconds.
Do you have to hold my hand?
Okay, open it. The gap between dimensions, separate from the world we know, completely closed space. And in the middle of this crosswalk is the wall for this closed space. It's about 5 kilometers wide, and normally there isn't any visible way of entering the space. But that's one of the powers I have. That is, when the conditions are right. If you can picture a dome that's been plopped down over the city, well, we're standing in it. As we're in here, talking, life goes on as normal in the world outside the space. And normal folks wandering in here, well, that doesn't happen too often. Now, closed space is created completely at random. Sometimes they pop up every other day, and sometimes you won't see one for a couple of months. One thing's for sure, though. Whenever Miss Suzumiya gets emotionally unstable, it creates a space like this, somewhere. I can sense when closed space is created, and I know where to go to find the door to get in. My powers aren't limited to finding these things and getting into them. You could say that my powers somehow reflect upon the things within Miss Suzumiya's consciousness. So if this closed space is a pimple that appears on Miss Suzumiya's spirit, we espers are the acne medication.
You know, your metaphors are hard to understand.
Yeah, I get that a lot. But then you sure are something. I mean, here you are seeing all this, but you don't seem surprised.
I've seen a lot of strange things already.
Well, looks like it's starting. Please, take a look behind you. When Miss Suzumiya's irritation level gets to a certain point, these giants suddenly appear. I think it's a form of stress relief for her, with those things acting out on her behalf and destroying stuff. I mean, she can't go causing riots or anything in the real world, so she creates a closed space, and she's free to unleash her fury inside it. Don't you think that's logical? I mean, that thing really shouldn't be able to support its own weight. It seems to transcend the laws of physics, doesn't it? Even if you brought an army unit in to fire rockets at it, it still wouldn't stop that thing.
So you mean that thing just keeps tearing stuff up?
Not quite. Have a look over there. Other Espers. They're just like me. People that hunt down the giants created and empowered by Miss Suzumiya. Stay here. It's time for me to go help out.
I can't believe this is happening.
Sorry to make you wait. Oh, there's something else I want to show you. Last thing, I promise.
I don't think anything's gonna top that.
Once us Espers get rid of the giant, the bubble of closed space disintegrates. And it's quite the spectacle. So, now do you understand?
No.
We have a name for that giant you saw. We call him Shinjin, a man that's made by God. The Shinjin are linked to Miss Suzumiya's mental state, and so are we. Stop me if this starts to get confusing. When a closed space is created, the Shinjin rise up and take the form of giants. That's when I get to unleash my supernatural powers. However, I can only use them within the confines of the closed space. Right now, sitting in this cab, I don't have any powers at all. You're probably wondering why I've been given these powers, right? I guess it would have been okay for anybody to have them. I just happen to be the one chosen. And as for the Shinjin, we can't leave them alone to do what they want. The reason is that the more stuff the Shinjin get to destroy, the bigger the closed space becomes. That space we were just in, believe it or not, that was one of the smaller ones. If we left it alone, it'd keep on growing, getting bigger and bigger until it covered the world. If that happens...
You for advice? Well, that automatically makes you not normal, buddy.
I never realized Nagato's that famous.
Also, you happen to be one of Suzumiya's henchmen. So if you think that you're just a normal male high school student, then I'm about as normal as a water flea.
Hey, Tamaguchi, you don't have any supernatural powers, do you?
Huh? I knew it. You've finally become poisoned by Suzumiya's extreme brand of nuttiness, haven't you? Don't get too close to me, buddy, or I'll catch the Suzumiya bug.
Why didn't you change out of your gym clothes?
Because it's hot. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna change again when we get to the club room. Besides, I've got cleaning duty, and it's easier for me to move around in this.
Yeah, well, can't argue with that.
I was thinking, what do you want Mikuru's next costume to be?
We've had a bunny girl, the maid. I guess she could... Wait, what do you mean next?
Kitty cat ears? Or a nurse? Or maybe a dominatrix.
Kitty cat ears, nurse's outfit, maybe a dominatrix.
What an idiot.
Hey, you're the one who brought it up.
Oh, man. I'm so bored.
I see. There it is.
You working on anything important?
No, nothing.
Really? Hey, what's this?
I'm screwed.
Why does that folder have my name on it, huh? Come on, let me see. Let me see.
Oh, this? Well, yeah, I wonder. It's probably nothing to worry about, though.
That sounds like a lie.
Miss Alcina, could you step back a little, please?
Please let me look. Can't I see? Let me look. What do you think you're doing? So, you're into maid outfits, huh?
What are you talking about?
We're gonna change.
Sure, fine with me.
I said we're changing now.
So what?
Get out!
What's with her? She never cares if people see her when she's changing in our homeroom.
Well, now my arms and shoulders are cool, but the rest of this crummy outfit doesn't breathe at all.
Hello? So I guess today's the day of the costume party?
Don't make the story more complicated.
Mikuru, come here. Have a seat.
They're like a couple of sisters.
She just wants to make a maid with braids. In the end, it was actually a pretty normal day at the club. there wasn't really anything we wanted to do. Actually, we didn't know what we should do. It was like a moratorium on life, as time flowed by. A life we took for granted. An ordinary life. And despite feeling dissatisfied about the overwhelming lack of things to do, you keep thinking about the next day. You keep telling yourself you still got lots of time. But that was unusual in and of itself. And it really wasn't a bad thing at all. Almost getting killed by a classmate, or perhaps meeting a monster tearing up a deserted world with gray skies. You know, those things don't happen every day. It's true. I wish that days like this would last forever. And wouldn't you think that way too? But there was someone who didn't think so. And of course, it was Haruhi Suzumiya. What do you think you're doing?
Scissors! I need them for art class.
Well, okay, I guess, but just ask for them next time, all right? She knew that she could get away with it. By the way, do you know what makes people have dreams? There are two kinds of sleep. REM sleep, and then there's non-REM sleep. The two repeat in intervals throughout the sleep cycle. During REM, when the body's asleep, but the brain is still somewhat active, that's when we have dreams.
Joan! Joan!
The alarm hasn't gone off yet, has it?
Wake up!
No way.
I'm telling you to wake up! Do you know where we are right now? I thought I woke up, and then I found myself in this place with you lying there passed out next to me. What's going on? And why did we wake up outside our school like this?
A closed space.
I thought I was sleeping in my bed at home, so how did we end up in this place? The sky, it's weird.
Have you seen Koizumi?
No, why? Is he here?
No, just a hunch I had. First off, let's get out of the school. We might be able to find someone somewhere else.
You don't seem very surprised by all of this somehow.
Well, I'm surprised, all right. Especially at the fact that you're here.
What is this?
This thing runs all around the perimeter of the school.
Does that mean we can't get out of here?
Well, if you're scared, just go ahead and grab my arm, why don't you? I'm sure it'll help get me in the mood.
Jerk. I can't get a dial tone.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Hey, Joan, look. Where are we? It's really weird.
You thirsty?
No thanks. What's going on? What is this? I don't get it at all. Where are we? And why am I here anyway? And on top of all that, why am I alone with you?
How should I know?
I'm gonna look around. You stay here, got it? I'll be right back.
Typical Haruhi behavior. Koizumi, that you?
Well, hello there.
Took you long enough to show up, although I guess I was sort of expecting to see you looking a little more normal.
Yeah, that. I need to talk to you about something. Frankly speaking, this is what I'd call an emergency situation. Normally, I can get into close space without too much trouble. But this time, even with some extra power from my colleagues, it was all I could do to show up in this incomplete form. And I'm not gonna last too long either. Looks like our Esper powers are fading. They could disappear any minute now.
And do you know what's going on? And are Haruhi and I the only ones stuck in here?
That's it. The thing we've been afraid of happening all along is starting to happen right now. It seems Miss Suzumiya has finally given up on the real world. She's decided to create a new one now. In other words, this is the end of the world.
What was that?
The top brass of the organization is seriously panicked right now. Nobody knows what will happen to the real world now that we've lost our deity. If Miss Suzumiya is feeling merciful, we might get to keep living on this side of the bubble. But it might disappear into nothing the next minute, too.
Wait, now, why is this...
Who knows? In any case, both you and Miss Suzumiya have completely disappeared from our world. You two aren't in an ordinary closed space. It's a new dimension that Miss Suzumiya has created. I don't know. Maybe all the other closed spaces were practice for the one you're in right now. The space that you're in right now is probably the world that Miss Suzumiya wishes she was in. I don't really know what she wants, so I'm at a loss as to what could happen next.
Do you have any idea why I'm the one in here with her?
You honestly have no idea why? You were chosen by Miss Suzumiya. You were the one and only person from the other world that Miss Suzumiya really wanted to be with. I thought you'd have realized that by now. Looks like I'm almost out of time. The way things are going, I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
So you're telling me that's it? I gotta live all alone here with Haruhi in this dull world of gray?
You're the new Adam and Eve. Go on, procreate, increase the population.
I'll punch you for that.
Just joking. It's only a theory, but I think in a little while this place will start looking more familiar. However, it's not going to be exactly the same as over here. Well, if I ever get reincarnated on your side, be sure to say hi for me.
So we can never go back to that side ever again?
Only if Miss Suzumiya wishes it. Although I hate to say it, the chances of that are pretty slim. I'm gonna miss you guys a lot. I would have liked to get to know both of you better. The whole thing fills me with a bit of regret. Oh, almost forgot. I've got messages for you from Mikuru Asahina and Yuki Nagato. Miss Asahina told me to deliver an apology to you. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. And Yuki Nagato told me to tell you, turn on the computer. Goodbye.
What kind of joke is this, anyway? Of course I can see it. What should I do? That what? Nagato! What do you want me to do? Nagato, Koizumi.
Something's here! What is it? A monster? It's not an illusion, is it? Maybe it's an alien! Or is it some kind of super weapon that a race of ancient people created that's been awakened in our world? What are you doing? That thing's not trying to attack us, is it? What are we running away from it for? I don't think it's evil or anything.
Who knows?
Do you know what's happening? This weird world, and that giant.
Don't you want to go back to the world we used to be in? We can't stay in a place like this forever. I mean, if we get hungry, there aren't any places to eat here.
It's strange, but I have a feeling we'll get by somehow. I'm having fun right now. I wonder why.
What are you going to do with the SOS Brigade? You created it. Are you just going to throw it away?
It doesn't matter anymore. I'm having the strangest, most wonderful experience I've ever dreamed of having. I don't need to search for it, but it's happening right here.
But I want to go back. It took something like this to make me realize. Even though I complain a lot, I really liked my life up till now. Kunihira, and that idiot Taniguchi, Koizumi, Nagato, Miss Asahina, and that Asakura girl who disappeared. You can put her on the list too.
What are you talking about?
I want to go back and see all of them again. I don't know, I feel like I still got so many things that I want to talk to them about.
You'll see them again. It's not like this place is going to be covered by a big gloomy shadow forever. Once tomorrow comes around, I'm positive the sun's going to shine again. I know it will, I can tell.
That's not it. I'm not talking about seeing them in here. I want to see everybody from the old world in the old world.
I don't understand you. Weren't you sick and tired of the boring world we were living in? Didn't you want something really weird and interesting to happen like I did?
I used to. You know something, Haruhi? For the last couple of days, I've had all these strange things happening around me. You had no way of knowing this, but I guess you can say the world's been revolving around you. You've been completely unaware of it, but actually everything in the world was getting more and more weird and interesting. Nagato said she was the potential for evolution. Miss Asahina called her a distortion in space-time, and Koizumi treated her like a god. Then, what about me? What does Haruhi Suzumiya mean to someone like me? Haruhi is Haruhi, nothing else but Haruhi. Great, using tautology to dodge the question. I can't help it. I just don't have a definite answer for it. I mean, think about it. If somebody pointed at a classmate of yours and asked you what that person meant to you, how would you answer? What would you say? Sorry, I'm dodging the question again, but to me, Haruhi isn't just a classmate, and of course she's not the potential for evolution, a time distortion, or a god either. That's impossible!
Do you know the story of Snow White? What's wrong?
I've sort of got a thing for girls with ponytails.
What?
I don't remember when it was, but you had your hair in a ponytail, and it looked so good on you it was criminal.
Huh? What, are you an idiot?
What kind of dream was that? Sigmund Freud's out here laughing at me. I never had a dream that was so realistic before. Or maybe this isn't the old world anymore. Maybe this world is a new one that Haruhi created. And if that's the case, how would I go about confronting it? Yo, how you doing?
I don't know, not so good. I had a nightmare last night.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't really get any sleep because of it. I've never wanted to ditch school so badly like today.
Is that so? Haruhi,
Yeah, what?
looks good on you.
I believe I should be thanking you right now. It looks like I get to keep my part-time job a little while longer. Well, I don't think we can deny the distinct possibility that the world we're in now was freshly created by her last night. In any case, it is an honor to see you and Miss Suzumiya again. Be seeing you after class.
You and Haruhi Suzumiya disappeared from this world for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
So tell me, how many more of your kind are out there anyway?
A lot.
And is somebody like Asakura going to come around and try and kill me again?
Don't worry. I won't let that happen.
What did you say we're going to do?
We're gonna do this.
Announcing the 9th All-City Amateur Baseball Tournament. And who's going to be entering this little sandlot baseball game?
You've got to be kidding. Us, of course.
So when you're saying us, you're talking about everyone here, including
Somehow,
me.
we need to find at least 4 more people.
As usual, if somebody's opinion's inconvenient, she doesn't even hear it. Hey, do you even know the rules for baseball?
Of course I know the rules. When I tried out for the baseball team, they gave me the rundown of all the basics. But I wasn't having any fun, so I hurried up and went home.
Well, if you think baseball's so boring, why do you want to enter the tournament so badly?
Because it's our chance to show the entire world just who we are. If we win this baseball tournament, the SOS Brigade will take on a life of its own and be known all over the world. It's a great opportunity. Right, Mikulu? Isn't that a great idea? Don't you think baseball is great? In fact, we're going to shoot for the championship. We can't afford to lose a single game because you know how I hate losing. You got that?
Well, I think it would be all right.
Don't smile like that and give in to her demands. Why don't you try disagreeing with her every once in a while?
Actually, I think this is much more sensible than walking around the city looking for aliens and UMAs.
All right, when's this tournament supposed to happen?
It's this Sunday.
Day after tomorrow? Are you kidding? Don't you think that's way too soon?
But I already turned in the application. Oh, don't worry about it. It's all set. I put SOS Brigade as our team name. That's one thing I made sure of.
And as for the other 4 players we need, you got any ideas on where to find them?
If I come across anybody walking around looking bored, I'll just grab them.
The scary thing is, she really means that. All right, Haruhi, just hang on a second. I think that Taniguchi and Kunikita might have some free time on their hands.
They'll do.
It's true, Haruhi thinks of her classmates as objects. Okay, then, let's see, we need 2 more.
If you don't mind, I think I have a friend. Perfect.
Apparently anyone will do. Hey, wait, Miss Asahina's friend? Okay, that's interesting. Friend from where? And what time period?
It's okay, she's from this kind. I mean, she's just a friend I met in one of my classes.
I know someone. It's an acquaintance who's been curious about her fruit for some time now.
I'll handle it, thanks.
Now that that's settled, it's time for some intensive training.
Intensive training? You mean right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, but where?
over there.
So, all of us got roped into entering a baseball tournament just like that. Why, you ask? The reason's very simple. It was because, well, Haruhi was bored.
Hey, you guys. Can we use the field now? And we also want to borrow your equipment.
Huh? What the heck are you talking about?
We need to have baseball practice, and we're also kind of in a hurry. So would you get lost?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It'll only be for a little while. Right, Mikaela?
Adolescence is so predictable.
For starters, we're going to practice catching 1,000 grounders. Oh, come on. The future of the SOS Brigade is riding on that ball. So get ready.
This is the first time I've heard that our future was riding on such a tiny ball.
Okay, Mikaela. Here comes some more. That hurts. No, stop.
Miss Asahina, are you alright? Can you stand?
If you're too nice to me, it'll happen again. Please don't. Damn it, you guys! Get back to your positions right now!
She's injured, okay?
Fine then. Next up, the baseball team!
Why do we have to do it?
All right, you guys. That's it for today.
Well, now that's surprising. Miss Suzumiya batted exactly 1,000 hits.
Frankly, I'm more surprised by the fact that you counted every single one of them. Oh, hey, Nagato. On the day of the tournament, I was wondering if it was possible to make it rain. You know, a big one that canceled the game with a rain delay.
It is possible, but I would advise against it.
Yeah, why's that?
Any alteration of the regional climate could possibly have devastating after effects on the ecosystem of the planet.
And about when would these after effects happen?
Several hundred to 10,000 years.
Then I guess we better not try to do that, right?
Right.
The day of the baseball tournament has finally arrived.
So you're Kyo? I hear an awful lot about you from Mikuru. Oh, this is Miss Tsuruya, that friend I was with.
I'm Taniguchi. It's very nice to meet you.
And I'm Kunikita.
Yeah, see, when he asked me, I just couldn't turn down my good buddy Kyon.
So you're
brother.
Taniguchi and you're Kunikita, right? I'll remember now.
Shouldn't be hard for a
Come over
smart
here
girl
for a
like me.
minute. Okay, what were you thinking? Seriously, you're gonna make something like her play baseball?
Hey, don't go calling my little sister a something. She's a person.
Yeah, well, she introduced herself as a 10-year-old fifth grader. I mean, she's so sweet. I can hardly believe she's related to someone like you. This baseball tournament's open to the general public. It's not some crummy Little League game. You are aware of that?
Yes, Miss Haruhi. All the more reason to bring my little sister today. We really don't have a chance of winning.
So I threw him
But
on
since
the
this is Haruhi we're talking about, watch us win the championship by accident. That would be a pain. But if we have a fifth grader in the lineup, then we're sure to lose.
Fine, whatever. Guess it'll be a handicap. I feel bad if we won this thing too easily.
She still thinks we can win this thing. By the way, has it occurred to you that you need to decide the batting order and our positions on the field?
Oh, I thought about that already. Here, take a look at this. 2 types. One for batting order, the other for field position. Oh, and I'm the pitcher, and I'll be batting first.
So you're saying all you figured out was how we're going to decide those things?
Yeah, and you got a problem with that? This is the democratic method. In ancient Greece, they picked numbers out of a hat to elect their leaders.
Don't compare picking the batting order for a sandlot ballgame in modern Japan to how the Greeks pick their leaders. Besides, you get to do whatever you want. How's that democratic? Whatever. All the more reason to go home early. I mean, from what I hear, our first opponent is a team of college students, the Kamigahara Pirates. Apparently, they're the favorites to win the tournament. And a game is called when one team gets a 10-run lead. So it's not too early to start packing up to go home right now.
My ball!
Ah! You kidding me? Call that a pitch? Come on, everybody, follow my lead! I'll try to do my best to...
Right!
Why is he throwing so hard at Miss Asahina? If he hits her, I'm going to charge them out and get that guy.
Strike!
Me too! Like this! Swing and bang!
You're out!
Damn you! Why did you even swing the bat?
Strike! Strike! You're out!
Yucky! If you don't swing
high-profile lottery.
Strike!
Haruhi hit that into the outfield?
Strike two! Strike three, you're out!
I've dishonored my family.
Let's take him out!
Yeah! Play ball! Strike! Strike! Strike three, you're out!
Nice pitching!
Piece of cake, no sweat, guys.
Up!
She aimed those straight pitches through the strike zone. When they figured it out, it was only a matter of time. On top of that, our defense has more holes than an anthill in the savannah. We're so toast. The fact that they only scored 2 runs off of us must be because the opposing team's goddess of victory is running late. I guess everyone wants to relax on a Sunday. Well, the top of the second inning went by really quickly. And in the bottom of the inning, we gave up a few more runs. Looks like we'll be heading home next inning.
Out!
Phew, that was hard. It's all I can do to just hit the ball with the bat. Looks like I'm gonna be needing it after all. Time out, Come on, hurry up. Get out of this right now, put this on. You look good in that. Can I get a picture of you guys with my phone? I wonder if up in a ponytail would be better. Fine, cheer up. I'm not really sure how to do this. You do it like this and yell as loud as you can. Yell!
Yeah, I'll knock this sucker out.
Strike out!
The sun was in my eyes.
Don't sweat it. I wasn't counting on you anyway.
Three!
Me too. Just make sure to hit the ball this time.
That does a hit off.
You're right!
Like this.
What is she doing? Looks like she's trying to reduce the magic points of the other team's pitcher or something.
Well, it seems to me that she's trying to signal for something.
Did we ever decide on signals?
No? But I think that she's signaling for a squeeze play right now.
She's signaling for a 3-putt squeeze with 2 outs? Even the most senile coach in the league would make better decisions than that.
The chances of Miss Asahina actually hitting the ball are close to none. However, if we can catch the Pirates off guard by going for a squeeze play that normal people wouldn't think of, there's a possibility that one of their infielders might make an error. Or maybe she's thinking that somehow Miss Asahina might even hit the ball with the bat for once.
Well, it looks like they figured it out now.
Strike! And you're out of there!
Look-a-doo, get your butt over here and get ready for some pain, girls. Take your punishment. But everyone have a good one. Look at that funny little face.
Hey, numbskull. It's all your fault for giving confusing signals. Maybe you should have tried to steal home yourself or something.
Things aren't looking so good anymore.
I don't want to hear it. Go ahead.
A closed space larger than anything we've seen before is starting to form. It's spreading at an alarming rate. It will continue growing. And the you-know-whats will keep tearing things apart until Miss Suzumiya's mood improves.
And that's happening just because we're losing? Oh man, you gotta be kidding me.
You're still talking as if it has nothing to do with you. Believe me, you're involved with what's happening now, Kyon. Do you remember how we all had to pick numbers to determine the batting order for the day? As a result, you're batting cleanup.
I'm not all that happy about it, you know.
That's not the point. Miss Suzumiya wished for you to bat cleanup, and you are. That is not a coincidence. Because you're not performing like one would expect from a cleanup batter, she's feeling a little disappointed.
Well, excuse me.
In any case, we should all try to play the best we can so they don't go and call the game this inning. Because if the game ends here, you can say it's the equivalent of this world coming to its end.
Oh, damn it. Take your
This inning, we need to hold them to 2 runs, no matter what.
2 outs, man on first and second, and we're down by 9. If they score another run, this game will be over. Gotta catch it! Gotta catch it!
Wow, amazing.
Getting Getting back to what we were talking about
A
earlier.
little close there. What's up?
The other day when you and Miss Suzumiya were stuck in that other world, I was wondering how you managed to get yourselves out of it.
Do you have to remind me of that?
It's just that if you use that trick again, maybe everything here will start getting better.
Forget it.
That's exactly what I thought you'd say. Very well, let's just go and win this game instead. After all, she shares the same concerns we do.
Miss Nagato is finally...
What? Are you saying there's something the matter with her?
It looks like she's casting a spell.
A spell? Wait, what are you talking about?
Let's see, that's classified.
A spell, huh?
Take it. I changed the elemental boost information.
Elemental what?
Homing mode.
Wow, it's flying! I see. Homing mode, huh? Oh man, there's gotta be a limit to this. This is great, but if we keep doing this, things are gonna get ugly. In all kinds of ways. Well, that should be enough.
I see.
You're right!
I had forgotten about it, but the first round has a 90-minute limit. That means this is the last inning. If we can keep them from scoring, we win. Is it all right for us to win?
It is necessary for us to win. Thanks to all of our efforts, the expansion of the close space looks like it's stopped, at least for the time being.
But if they suddenly make a comeback, then that'll be their game right there. It's a waste of time to think about how Haruhi's mood will turn out if that happens.
I've got a plan.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am dead serious. It's the only option we have if we're to get through this inning without giving up too many runs.
Oh, brother. I know that. After all, the fate of the entire world is resting on my pitching. I guess the world's not worth very much. Thanks to my mysterious ball, I named it myself, it looks like the world will be spared from certain annihilation.
Strike two! You're out!
In just 3 pitches, yet another batter struck out. And now it seems the last batter is at the plate, with 2 strikes on it. There was no doubt about that happening. Sorry about this, Kamigahara Pirates. Yeah! Pick up the ball, Nagato! Pick up the ball and throw it! Second base!
I'm terribly sorry. But you see, we're not the typical team of athletes you're used to playing.
That's good!
Thanks to Nagato's magical cheating, we were able to win the game.
What are we going to do about the game in the next round?
I'm gonna feel bad for the Kamigahara Pirates if we beat them in the second round like we just did.
I'm really sorry about this, but I'm afraid I'll need to go and help my colleagues out in a little while.
So we're gonna be short a player then. How about we forfeit?
Sounds like a good plan. After today, it looks as if it's a bad thing when Miss Suzumiya is bored. We should probably keep that in mind during any future activities.
Had enough fun for today? Koizumi had to bail on us because he had something pop up suddenly. And to tell you the truth, my arms and legs are killing me right now.
SOS Brigade!
A logo? That's funny, because to me it looks more like a drunken tapeworm wrapped around the tube.
We'll take a closer look at it. See, it says SOS Brigade right there in the middle.
Now that she pointed it out, I can't really say for sure whether I can or can't see it. But I wouldn't disagree with anybody if they said it was or wasn't. And how many negatives did I just use in that sentence? If somebody's got time, total it up for me.
You're the one that's got the most free time. Anyway, I was thinking of putting this thing on the homepage of the SOS Brigade website.
You mean this pathetic website that only has a homepage?
This website that you made isn't getting us any visitors at all. It's so frustrating. There's nothing on here that spices it up. It's all because you got in my way. We'd have had a ton of hits if you let me post these erotic pics of Mikuru. So I got to thinking, I should paste a cool logo or symbol for the SOS Brigade on the homepage.
Just get this stupid excuse for a website off the net already. The access counter hasn't even reached 3 digits yet, and 90% of those hits have been you checking the site for hits. Write a blog on there or something. Isn't it your job to keep a record of the brigade's activities?
Too much of a hassle.
Well, it's a hassle for me, too.
Okay, Kyun, your job for today is to make this logo show up on the homepage of the website.
Why don't you do it yourself?
I'm the brigade leader. It's the job of the brigade leader to give the orders. Besides, if I did everything, there'd be nothing left for you guys to do. Isn't that right? I'm always spelling this stuff out for you. Why don't you use your head? How do you expect to improve yourself if you only do what you're told?
There you go, talking in circles again. Are you telling me to do it or not to do it? Which is it?
Enough. Get on it.
Reluctantly, I shrunk the master painter Haruhi's tapeworm into an appropriate size. Then I pasted it, still reluctantly, into the file and uploaded it. Starting tomorrow and lasting until summer vacation, we get to have our exam break. It's also the time when my teachers mark my answers wrong. Damn, that's annoying. Guess I'll go and ogle Miss Asahina for some comfort. I knocked on the door, fully expecting Miss Asahina's voice to call out a wispy, "Yes," in reply.
Come in.
You're the only one here?
Yuki's here too.
She's more like an accessory to the room, so you can't really count her as a member. I mean, officially she's a member of the literary club, so I guess I should correct myself. You and Nagato are the only ones here?
You want to file a complaint about it?
If I wrote down every complaint I had about you, it would fill up an entire sheet of A4-sized paper, both sides.
When you knocked on the door just now, I thought for sure we were going to have a visitor today.
Just being careful. I don't want to accidentally walk in while Miss Asahina is changing. That lovely, innocent young girl just can't seem to figure out how to lock a door. So now, what's all this about a visitor?
Don't tell me you don't remember.
I hope she isn't going to say anything about the Star Festival 3 years ago.
Oh, come on, it's something you did, and without getting my permission first.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Those posters you put up all over the school.
Right, those things. Those posters were my attempt at getting the student council to keep the SOS Brigade alive as a sort of jack-of-all-trades counseling thing. I even hand-drew them all and stuck them up on every bulletin board in the school.
Anyway, take a look at this. Something weird's happening here. Maybe it's just the computer acting up.
The SOS Brigade's logo was warped, as if somebody used a gathering filter on it. On top of that, the counter and title were gone. It was subtle, but it was different from the page I made. It looks like the file on the server has been corrupted. So do you know how long it's been like this?
No, it was like that when I checked it today. Who do I complain to about this?
It isn't worth filing a complaint.
It's weird. Wait, I know. It's hackers or crackers or whatever they're called.
No way. It's probably just an error.
It's so irritating. I can't believe someone would make a cyber-terrorist attack on the SOS Brigade. When I find out who's doing this, I'll make them do 30 days of community service. No trial. Come in.
Well, this is unusual. Miss Asahina hasn't shown up yet?
The juniors have more exams to take, don't they?
Hey, everyone, just hurry up and go home already. I mean, of all places, why do you want to meet here? Oh, and Haruhi, is there any special reason you're not saying anything about Koizumi knocking? I'm looking forward to Miss Asahina's tea.
That's not it. No, to the
For a
right.
while, I found myself stuck there catering to Haruhi's impossible orders.
That's not it.
At last, the sound of my salvation.
I'm so sorry, wait. I had exams until fourth period.
With a humble apology, she appeared, no, descended, the angel of the club, Miss Asahina.
Let's see. I sort of brought a visitor with me.
Unbelievable! I never thought anyone would come to us for counseling, but someone has, and there she is. Her name was Emori Kimidori, a junior who seemed very quiet and pure.
So let me get this straight. You want us, the SOS Brigade, to go and search for your missing boyfriend? Yes.
Oh, great. It seems that she thinks the purpose of the SOS Brigade really is to be a mobile task force or jack-of-all-trades counseling thing. So, what exactly is troubling you?
He hasn't been in school for the longest time. Have you tried calling him? He doesn't answer his cell or his home phone. I even went to his house, but he wasn't there. What about your boyfriend's family? As far as I know, he lives alone. A while ago, I remember hearing they lived and worked overseas, but I don't have any of their contact information. Really? Well, are his parents in Canada? No, I believe they live somewhere in Honduras. Oh, yes, Honduras. Indeed.
What's with this Indeed stuff? I doubt she even knows where Honduras is. Let's see, somewhere below Mexico, right?
That night when I went to see him, the house was pitch black. I'm so worried. Yeah, I can totally understand how you're feeling about this.
Liar! You don't understand the feeling of being in love.
Anyway, I'm surprised you came to the SOS Brigade with this mystery. So why'd you come to us? My boyfriend used to talk about the SOS Brigade. That's why I'm here. Oh? So who is this boyfriend? Yeah, what's his name? Don't know him. Who's he? To tell you the truth, he's the president of the computer club.
The guy Haruhi took pictures of as he sexually harassed Miss Asahina. The guy Haruhi blackmailed so she could take his top-of-the-line computer. The poor guy who was forced to hook the computer up with tears in his eyes. I totally forgot about him.
Okay, I got it. Don't worry, we'll do something about this. Miss Kimidori, today's your lucky day. Since you're the SOS Brigade's first client, I'll solve the case of your missing boyfriend for free.
You planned on charging money for this? Hey, taking a case was the easy part, but what are you going to do if you can't solve it?
I'll solve it. I'm sure the computer club chief's suffering from the melancholies, even if it's a couple months late. We'll just stroll into his house, grab him, slap him around a little, and drag him out of there.
I think she's serious about that. But if he's got a girlfriend like Miss Kimidori, why is that guy hiding out in a computer club? Are you and Miss Kimidori friends or something?
I've never spoken to her before today.
If she needed help, why didn't she go to a teacher or the police? No, maybe she did, but they didn't take her seriously. That's why she came to the SOS Brigade for help. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Looks like Haruhi's using this as an opportunity to attract bigger cases. Bet she thinks she can solve those, too.
We could always pass out flyers at the front gate like we did last time.
The president of the computer club lived in a one-room condo. The building wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. It was your typical 3.5-story deal, nothing special.
Let's do it. Well, this is the place. But how are we going to get in there?
Next time, try that first.
How about if we go up on the balcony in the back? Maybe we can get in if we break the glass or something.
The room's on the 3rd floor, and it's not like we're a gang of teenage burglars trying to rob the place. I don't want a criminal record yet.
Yeah, okay. Then let's go down to the manager's office and borrow the key. We'll just tell the manager that we're friends of his who are worried about him.
That excuse is getting a little old. With eyes like liquid helium, she stared back at me.
You've got to be kidding. I didn't realize it was open. Whatever. Guess we might as well go in. He's probably hiding under the bed or something. Come on, let's drag his butt out of there.
She doesn't even feel guilty for swiping that computer right out of his hands.
Well, that's strange. I totally thought we'd find him in a corner of the room, curled up in a ball. Joan, do you know where someone with a case of the May melancholies in July might scurry off to?
He's either traveling in Central or South America, or he really doesn't want to be found.
We should leave now.
That's the first time she's spoken today.
Miss Nagato's right, we need to go.
Don't sound so serious. Don't breathe on me. You're too close and you're freaking me out.
I'm feeling a little strange in here. It's a sensation I'm all too familiar with, so we should keep going.
It expired 3 days ago, but I'm sure they're still good. Come on, let's see. Stay on me, Kuru.
What do you mean, familiar?
It's a familiar scent. This room has the same kind of smell as closed space.
Come to think of it, you are a real live Esper, aren't you?
There's another dimensional layer. As we stand here, it's beginning to shift.
Okay. Looks like it'd be best if we all got the hell out of here.
Wow. I'm so hungry. That's it for today. Dismissed!
Hey, wait. What about the case?
Don't worry, we'll figure it out. See ya!
She's already bored.
Is anything the matter? Why did you want us to come back here without telling Miss Suzumiya?
Those two seem to think there's something fishy with that room. Isn't that right?
Yes. I'm sure we'll find out once we get back inside. Right, Miss Nagato?
There is a localized non-corrosive alternate space in this room. It's happening independently in limited mode.
Wow. It almost sounds like you're just flipping through a dictionary, pulling out words at random.
She's saying that there's something similar to closed space in here. It's not the same as the ones created by Miss Suzumiya. The one in this room smells different. Do you think the disappearance of the computer club president is related to this space?
Yes.
I should have told her to wait. I couldn't enjoy the feeling of Mikuru clutching my arm because I was trying really hard to figure out where I was. I remember I was standing in a small one-room condo a second ago. Not this creepy place.
I have analyzed the entry code. It overlaps standard space. It is merely out of phase.
This doesn't seem to be closed space, though.
It's slightly different. In one segment of the spatial data, there is junk information that seems to have originated with Haruhi Suzumiya.
Can you tell how much?
Insignificant levels. She only triggered the situation.
I see, so that's what happened.
Can Miss Asahina and I join this conversation? So the president of the computer club is somewhere in here?
It seems that way. This alternate space created itself in his room, and for some reason, he became trapped within it.
Then where is he? Wait! Do you think you can tell me what you're gonna do first? I just want to be ready for it, okay?
Nothing. There it is.
What is that?
I can definitely feel its animosity.
Those two have ways of defending themselves. But Miss Asahina and I don't even stand a chance. You wouldn't happen to have laser guns or anything?
We're forbidden to carry firearms because it's dangerous.
Sure, I can understand that. It wouldn't do her any good anyway. Besides, she might accidentally leave it on the train or something. Do you guys know what camel crickets look like? For those of you who don't, I'd like to show you what I'm looking at right now. What is this?
A camel cricket.
Got it. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
It's the creator of this dimension.
No way. Did Haruhi do this too?
The cause is different, but she was the catalyst.
Okay, you can move now.
Looks like I can still access my powers in here, at least partially. But it's only 1/10 of what I usually work with. Maybe it was determined that this was all the power I needed.
Yeah, great. Nagato, what is that insect and where's the computer club guy?
It is a data life form. It is currently using the male student's brain to increase its probability of survival.
Are you saying the president's inside that thing?
Exactly.
I see. This camel cricket is a manifestation of the thing the president fears the most. If we defeat it, we can shut down this alternate space. Am I mistaken?
No mistakes.
Then this should be relatively easy.
Miss Asahina's giving me a workout. I'm so gonna lose it. And she's taking away my mobility, so I can't escape.
Don't worry, it'll be over soon.
Just hurry up and do it.
Roger that.
Causing interval seconds between display.
A force field?
Second light!
Did that work? I guess it didn't work.
Is it over now?
Looks like he's still alive. I suddenly found myself standing in that one-room condo again.
It arrived 280 million years ago. When it landed on this planet, it could not find the necessary means to survive here. To preserve itself, it went into hibernation. When humans created the computer network, it shifted into a half-waking state. Then, an explosion of unmeasured amounts of data from a parallel world caused it to fully wake.
That explosion of data from a parallel world turned out to be the SOS Brigade logo that Haruhi drew. That was the trigger.
In Earth measurements, this emblem contains approximately 436 petabytes of data.
No way! That thing isn't more than 100 kilobytes!
The symbol she happens to draw turns out to be something amazing. Only Miss Suzumiya could do that.
Now I was honestly starting to get scared. It can't just be coincidence. The SOS Brigade is formed. Miss Asahina joins because she's the perfect mascot. Koizumi joins because he's a transfer student. Nagato joins because she's been there from the start. On top of that, Miss Asahina came from the future, and Nagato is sort of alienish. If all of this really was Haruhi's doing, it's just too good to be true. Koizumi says it's all because Haruhi wished it, but I don't believe that. Look, I'm just an ordinary guy. And if it's really true that everything Haruhi does is significant in some way, why did she choose me to become a member of the SOS Brigade? Is it because I've got latent super crazy powers? Or do I have a secret identity that no one's told me about? What in the hell am I, anyway? I know. I'm the conscience of the SOS Brigade. I'm here because I have to stop Haruhi's illegal club activities. It's my job to make her have a normal high school life. Alright, you gotta tell me what that camel cricket was.
A data life form.
Any relation to your entity thingy?
A similar source. The other life form evolved differently and its race perished.
Or so you thought, until you found a survivor right here. Why Earth of all places? It would have been nice if it decided to hibernate on Neptune or something. To think the internet was the nursery for an evil, overlordy thing like that. Hang on a second. I just realized nothing happened in this room when Haruhi finished drawing the logo. And when she showed it to me, nothing happened then either.
For a while now, this room has been in an alternate dimension. Elements and force fields collide with one another here, canceling each other out and creating a sort of saturation. But there's no room left for anything else to blend in.
So while I wasn't looking, this room was turned into an ominous den of weirdness?
Not to worry, I think it's harmless. Probably.
Oh, brother. I really don't feel like going insane or looking for a rope to hang myself with just because this place is so strange.
I'm doing my best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, I hope and pray that this kind of stuff isn't happening because you're doing your best. Huh? There's almost 30,000 hits on this thing!
The data life form reproduces itself by installing hyperlinks at various locations. It then copies information about itself into the brains of humans who see the emblem, creating more closed space.
However, since the data has become corrupt, the humans who saw it most likely did not suffer a negative effect. According to Nagato, there were 8 other idiots who saw the logo, 5 of which were North High students. Guess this means we have to go rescue them, too.
Hi, damn it! Hustle, take a knee!
If you look at it long enough, the thing actually says ZOZ Brigade. Nagato redid the logo, and I stuck it back onto the page. The computer club guy came back today.
Oh, really? It was either... Good, everyone's here. Now, today's meeting is super important. If any of you happen to show up after me, I was thinking of making that person it whenever we play Kick the Can forever.
Naturally, I had no idea we were having an important meeting today.
I've decided during the summer break the SOS Brigade's going on its very first retreat.
Going on a retreat?
Yep, retreat.
What good is that going to do any of us?
And Koizumi's already found our destination.
Correct. It just so happens that I have a distant relative who is incredibly wealthy. He has so much money that he actually bought his very own deserted island and built a summer house on it. In fact, the construction was finished on it not too long ago.
Suzumi, get ready to hit the roof! For your distinguished service and dedication to the brigade, I'm promoting you to the rank of Deputy Chief!
I gladly accept.
No, I'm not jealous.
We'll have a luxurious 3 nights and 4 days on a deserted island! And I'm sure we're going to find something very interesting waiting for us there! In fact, I've already figured out what my role in this adventure is!
Now then, let's think about detectives for a minute. The great detectives in mystery novels always seem to find themselves getting involved in one incomprehensible situation after another. Why do you think that is?
Because if they didn't, you wouldn't have a story.
That's right, no story. Their cases are entirely fiction. They exist only in the surreal world of the story. Although maybe it's better if we don't get too wrapped up in a metafictional conversation just yet. I mean, after all, Miss Suzumiya seems pretty gung-ho about throwing herself into a world like that.
Come to think of it, she created the SOS Brigade to do just that.
If you're in search of surreal happenings like the kind of mystery novels, you need to go someplace that has the right environment for that kind of thing. When you think about it, that's how every single one of the great detectives in fiction got involved in their cases.
Yeah, but there's no way we just stumble across a case that easy.
True, nothing ever happens in reality like it does in stories. However, the island we're heading for right now is a spot that everyone in the world would think the perfect place for a gruesome murder mystery.
Everyone in the world, huh? That's a heck of a world you got there, sport.
Look at it this way. Wherever a great detective goes, a strange case is practically guaranteed to happen. See, it's as if all great detectives have a kind of supernatural power that attracts all their cases to them.
Are you sane?
I always act with a reasonable amount of sanity. All that stuff about great detectives, close circles, and stuff aren't my personal views on the subject. I was merely pointing out the way Miss Suzumiya was thinking. In other words, well, she wants to be one. A great detective.
This one! So close!
What's close? We're playing old maid.
Hurry! Next one!
Too bad.
Hey, do you want to know something? My big brother Kyung tried to leave me at home.
That's because I didn't intend to bring you in the first place.
No! Well, we're all happy you're here now. Hey!
She won't be any trouble, I promise. Thanks to Miss Asahina's smile, the kid was off the hook.
How much longer till we get there?
It'll take about 6 hours by ferry. Then, an acquaintance will be waiting to pick us up when we arrive at the port. From there, we'll board a private cruiser and it'll be another hour on the water. A deserted island with a towering mansion will be waiting for us at the end of our trip. I've never actually been there, so it'll be interesting to see what the mansion looks like.
I bet it'll be a really strange building. Hey, do you know the name of the architect who built it?
Why do you care?
Never really thought to ask about that.
Yay! I'm out first! Amazing!
Come to think of it, I did hear the architect they commissioned to design it was somewhat famous.
Perfect. Somewhat famous. For starters, if the mansion is anything like what Haruhi's expecting, I'm sure it's totally weird. It'll probably look like something Antoni Gaudi built after drinking himself stupid and staying up for 3 days straight.
An island of action! It's the ideal location for the SOS Brigade summer retreat! Woohoo! I'm the third to get out! How about the loser has to buy drinks for everyone else? I'll take a can of 100% fruit juice, please. And I want some cola!
And I'll be having the royal milk tea.
Hey, you haven't won yet, buddy.
Yep, deserted islands are all about weird happenings.
I hope nothing happens. I hope nothing happens.
I'm not too sure about that. Whether or not anything weird actually happens. I'm hoping that this trip will at least be a fun one for us all.
Hey, Mikoto, little sister, let's go up to the deck. Maybe we'll see a monster squid or something. Sure. Squid! Squid!
If a giant squid shows up, Nagato will have to deal with it. Oh, brother.
You dork, are you sleeping? Come on, wake up. Are you just gonna sleep through our entire trip? I just took a picture of you waking up. And I took a couple of you sleeping. You were sound asleep, weren't you?
Really? Why would Miss Asahina want to take pictures of me sleeping? Maybe she wants to get a picture of me in a cute frame. Keep it next to her bed, and every night just before she drifts off to sleep,
What's
she
with
can...
the goofy face? You might want to stop because you look like a moron. I've temporarily given Mikuto the responsibility of being the SOS Brigade's photographer. It's important to maintain a record of the Brigade's activities for future generations. But I decide what pictures to take.
Why would anybody care what I look like? When I'm sleeping or when I'm waking up?
While you're sleeping, the rest of us are on an important mission, and I'm going to use the pictures of you loafing as a warning to future generations. You got it? For a lowly member to lie around snoring while his leader is awake is against morals, orders, and the rules of the brigade. We're moving out, people. A mysterious island awaits us.
Mysterious island indeed. It's not Panorama Island or Infant Island, is it? I hope this island doesn't float away or start to swim. That'd ruin my day.
It'll be alright. It's just your typical desert island. Believe me, you can relax because there aren't any monsters or mad scientists anywhere. I promise you. In fact, I'll guarantee it.
Guarantee it all you want. I still don't trust you.
Mr. Awakawa, it's been a while since I last saw you. Miss Mori, thank you for coming to meet us. I'm sorry for troubling you both. Now, I'd like to introduce the two of you to my incomparable group of friends.
The boat we'll be taking is right over here. It should only take us about a half an hour or so to reach the Master's Island. My apologies in advance for any inconvenience.
You're kidding. I don't mind at all. The more remote it is, the better. Another half hour, take as long as you need. A deserted island in the middle of the ocean's exactly what I'm looking for. Hey, you two should be totally excited about this. This island's got a match and add a suspicious-looking butler and maid. What's with you guys? I bet you'd maybe find 2 islands like this in Japan tops.
There aren't even 2.
Oh, wow, that's so amazing. I'm really looking forward to this.
I wonder if Miss Asahime's trying to pick up some maidisms from Miss Mori. She's looking at her so intensely.
So does the house on the island have some kind of cool name? I'm sorry, the House of Black Death, Mirror Manor, Koketsu Castle? The mansion house may have a name like that, right? No, it doesn't. Maybe it's got a dungeon full of funky contraptions where the architect died unnaturally, or a room where if you sleep in it, you die a horrible death, right? No, there isn't.
Way to kill the mood.
Hey! Does the mountain of the house wear a mask because it's horribly disfigured? Or maybe there's 3 psychotic sisters living there, or maybe everyone's disappeared?
No, not at all. At least not yet, anyway.
But there's a good chance something weird like that'll happen at some point, right?
There's always a possibility, yes.
Wow, I think I see it! Is that the mansion?
Yes, that would be it.
It looks so normal. Someone's waving at us. Who's that? He looks too young to be the master of the house.
He's also been invited to stay a few days. That's Mr. Yutaka Tamaru, the master's younger brother. I remember meeting him once before.
Thanks for the heads up. You think you could let us know about these things ahead of time? This is the first I've ever heard about any other guests.
Welcome!
Welcome, everyone.
On behalf of my colleagues, I would like to thank you for inviting us to your home. It's truly an honor to be able to stay in such a grand estate as yours, sir. We appreciate your kindness and generosity.
My, oh my. I have to say, you're quite different from what Itsuki's told me. Indeed, I think I was expecting someone who was more direct.
You were? It's really cool to meet you, Mr. Master. But let's cut to the chase. Has anything strange ever happened in this house? What about the island? You hear any stories from the locals? Do they have a spooky name for the island? Are they afraid to come near it? That's the kind of stuff I'm into.
Sounds like you have quite a hobby there, although I've yet to see anything strange happen here. Construction on the house was finished the day before yesterday. And as for the island, I don't recall anyone saying it was haunted. After all, it was deserted. Now, why don't you all come in and make yourselves at home? The mansion's Western style, so feel free to keep your shoes on.
Wow, what a lovely room. It's okay.
It's nice we each get to have our own room instead of having to share. By the way, the doors do have locks, right?
Of course, and they're not automatic locks, so you won't get stuck in the hall. However, I would appreciate it if you didn't lose your keys.
If you want, you can stay with me in my room.
Only if you behave, you got that?
Okay. It's suspicious because nothing looks suspicious.
And if it looks suspicious to begin with, well then what?
It'd be suspicious, of course. Jeez.
In other words, to her, everything, including things that aren't suspicious, are suspicious.
I got it.
Got what?
The culprit.
What culprit? What are you talking about? Look, nothing's even happened yet. We just got here, okay?
My gut says it's the owner of this house. Yaiichi did it. And the first victim will be Hikaru.
Would you stop saying stuff like that? We're their guests. Can't you just act like a normal high school student?
I guess you're right. Maybe we should go swimming. We got the whole ocean to ourselves down there, so we might as well take advantage of it, right?
Oh, man. Although I'm sure Haruhi would never seriously wish for anyone to die. It's scary to hear her go off like that. This moment's the best part about this whole trip. Now this is what having a retreat by the sea is all about.
You know, we all have different ideas of what's fun. A person should spend their time on vacation doing the things they like. That's especially true for Miss Suzumiya. We need to keep her occupied so that she doesn't get bored. And we wouldn't want that to happen now, would we?
Yeah, Koizumi, come on, stop sitting around and get over here. I'm coming too. Over here.
Too many beach balls!
Wow, this is so delicious. Who
you like it. The butler, Arakawa, is also the head chef around here.
I'd like to personally thank him, so just call him in when he's done. Can I have some of that?
Wow, she sure eats a lot.
So good. Would you like something to drink? What's wrong? I don't like bell peppers.
If you want to grow up to be like Miss Asahina, then you're going to have to eat them. It's not often we get to eat this good.
Wow! I can't believe this is free! I just wish the school cafeteria had a spread like this. It'd be like heaven!
So after living it up, courtesy of Mr. Tamaru's hospitality, we were able to get through the first day without anything terribly strange happening. Now, if the story ended there, it would have been perfect. No such luck, though. The next morning, as if on cue, a huge storm rolled in.
The master's not what you call a morning person, and he tends to be difficult when he wakes up. Please excuse his absence at the table in the mornings, and I do appreciate your understanding in the matter.
Great, that's just our luck. The typhoon hits as we're starting our vacation.
The storm seems to be moving fairly quickly. Things will be back to normal in a couple days. You'll see. It'll disappear as quickly as it appeared.
It's strange, though. I don't remember hearing anything about a typhoon yesterday. Whose head did this massive storm come creeping out of?
Okay, what we've got here is a deserted island in the middle of a storm. This is a rare opportunity. We might even experience something weird. Awesome.
Taking the boats out that day was not an option. The waves were just too big. Now, thanks to Haruhi's wish, we found ourselves the unwilling guests trapped on a spooky, deserted island. A closed circle? No way. Since we couldn't go outside, we decided to spend the day in the game room, which was in the mansion's basement.
Here's my super ultra miracle extended
I call reach!
My hand's worth 10,000 points.
That is definitely a full hand, Miss Suzumiya.
Good we're not playing for money.
I'm glad to see you're all having a good time here.
If you guys don't mind, can I sit in for a hand?
Please excuse me, everybody. I'm afraid I have some work that needs to get done. Enjoy yourselves.
Keiichi and Yutaka Tamaru, Mr. Arakawa and Miss Mori. They seem normal, even though they're acquaintances of Koizumi's. We'll need a couple more characters before something strange can happen.
I call reach!
Who is the king?
I am the king! Okay, number 2. You have to turn around, look back at us, and say, I love you. Who has number 2? I love you. No, not like that, Yuki! You have to say it with more feeling, alright? I love you. Go on, Kyon, show her how to do it.
Why do I have to?
It doesn't matter why. It's the king's orders, okay?
I love... Selfish king. That's typical Haruhi for you. I thought I'd be able to skip the rest of this chapter of adolescence with little more than a laugh, but that's not how the dealer cut the deck. Now, I don't know who this dealer is, or what kind of deck they were cutting for that matter, but if I knew who this dealer was, I'd make sure they'd never shuffle cards or cut a deck for the rest of the year. Hey, Haruhi!
What a whip. You should expect pillow fights when you're on a retreat.
Where does that girl get her energy? She was up all night.
Pillow fights, huh? No wonder Miss Suzumiya was going through all the rooms. It looks like she went around and confiscated all the pillows on the second floor.
She's stealing all the weapons before the battle, huh?
Mr. Arakawa, is there anything wrong?
I sent Mori up to Mr. Yutaka's room a while ago. When she came back down, she told me that he wasn't there.
He isn't in the house?
His bed hadn't been slept in, and we looked for him in the usual places, but I'm afraid he's nowhere to be found.
Have you gone to Mr. Keiichi's room and checked with him?
Yes. Well, we tried calling the phone in the master's bedroom, but there was no answer.
What's that? Did you say that Mr. Yutaka's missing and Mr. Keiichi isn't answering his phone?
If asked to summarize, yes, that is exactly what I said.
We should probably check Mr. Keiichi's room. Mr. Arakawa, do you have a key?
The master's chambers are different from the other rooms. Unfortunately, he's the only one with the keys to it. It's a precaution. He brings work-related documents to the island.
We better go up to his room and try knocking.
Come on, Kyon. I've got a bad feeling about this. Joan, did something bad happen?
I told you already. Mr. Keiichi got sick and he's resting in his room. So we have to stay here, okay?
So, is Mikudo sick? Kyon, can we talk? Yuki, lock the door. And don't open it for anyone, no matter what. Got that? I understand. Do you think he was murdered?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, this is nuts. I never thought something like this would ever really happen.
But all you keep saying is how badly you wanted something mysterious to happen.
Well, yeah, because I never really thought it would happen.
A murder happens in a locked room on a deserted island in the middle of a typhoon. What are the chances we'd stumble onto something like that while on vacation? Then again, maybe this is happening because Haruhi wished for it to happen.
We're in some really big trouble, aren't we?
Right now, she looks like a mischievous little boy, worried about how an April Fool's joke went from bad to worse. I hate to say this, but as far as prime suspects go, Mr. Yutaka is front and center. No one knows where he is. It's like he just up and vanished.
Hey, wait a minute. Yesterday, Mikudo told me something. Somebody hit the water! Nice! Here comes another one!
She saw them arguing?
That's what it looked like anyway. And last night, I overheard something. Remember? I went to the bathroom during the game. I was standing in the same spot.
Yeah, I'm in a hurry. Get my passport and traveler's checks ready, okay?
Now I know what that was about. I'll bet you anything that he was arranging his escape overseas.
But what about the sealed room? He wasn't trying to fake Mr. Keiichi's suicide, so what's the point in locking up the room like that?
I can't just stand here and not do anything. Come on, we're gonna go take a closer look in Mr. Keiichi's room.
I'm sorry. I called the police already, and they insisted that no one is allowed inside the room until they arrive on the island.
Did they say when they would get here?
I checked the forecast, and right now it looks like the weather will start clearing up by tomorrow afternoon. It's safe to assume that the police will arrive around then.
Was his door locked all night long?
I have no idea. When I saw that the door was closed, I knocked.
And that's it?
Mr. Keiichi keeps important work-related documents in there, and it was forbidden to open the door if he didn't answer it. He was very adamant about that.
So Mr. Keiichi and Mr. Yutaka didn't get along with each other?
I really wouldn't know anything about that. There are many things regarding those two with which I'm not familiar. You see, Miss Mori and myself have been employed here at the mansion for only 1 week.
Only a week?
Miss Mori and myself are working part-time as Mr. Keiichi's temporary maid and butler. Our contract with him was brief. It was to last a mere 2 weeks out of the summer.
So you two were just hired to work here and you never worked for him before this?
Precisely. As for the relationship between the two brothers, all I know is that Mr. Yutaka was an employee in Mr. Keiichi's company.
Something's not right. I've suddenly got a strange feeling about this.
Koizumi, what are you doing?
I was just having a look around the mansion. I can't find Mr. Yutaka anywhere. How about you?
I'm going outside to see if the boat's still there. I don't think you'll find the boat. What do you mean? Well, late last night, I noticed that Mr. Yutaka seemed as if he were in an awful hurry. I saw him heading for the front entrance.
Then, are you implying that Mr. Yutaka took the boat and left the island?
I'm not positive that's what happened, no. But that was the last time I saw Mr. Yutaka. About what time? I believe it was around 1 o'clock in the morning.
One wrong step and we'll both fall off the cliff. Oh well, even if we fall, when I'm with her, I feel like my chances for survival are pretty good.
Kyo, you see that?
The boat's gone, so Mr. Yutaka did it after all. Gray skies and black seas. It reminds me of being inside a closed space. There's no way I'd ever get used to a monochromatic world like this.
Kyo! Huh? Someone's there! See? Just past the rocks! I wonder if somebody else is out there looking. Or maybe that's the murderer!
Wait! Wait! Hey, are you sure you saw him come down this way?
He had to. This is the only path.
Hurry!
Kyon! Are you alright? Are you alive?
Yeah, I guess I'm okay.
Looks like we're in a tough spot.
Yeah. I don't think we can make it back to the path.
Hey, over there!
Fortunately, it was warm inside the cave. Was it just the Earth's heat? Or was there an underground hot spring nearby?
I know I saw a shadow back there.
You sure it was even a person? I mean, maybe it was something else.
No way! I saw what I saw. Although, I was thinking... Hey, Kyon, do you really think that Mr. Yutaka killed Mr. Keiichi?
What are you getting at?
Well, I've just been thinking about everything. According to what Miss Mori said a little while ago, Mr. Yutaka left the island around 1 in the morning. When we found Mr. Keiichi's body, I touched him. he was still warm. You see what I'm getting at? His body was still warm. That means Mr. Keiichi was killed right before we found his body.
So what does that mean? Mr. Yutaka left the mansion at night in the middle of a typhoon, hid till morning, then stabbed Mr. Keiichi before splitting the island?
But I don't think that's how it happened. Look, even if Mr. Keiichi was killed an hour before we found him, that means someone should have seen or heard something. Remember, we were all awake and wandering around the place. Someone should have heard something. A sound, a scream.
Don't you think that's strange? I mean, you really think that Mr. Keiichi stayed alive for hours on end and managed to lock himself in his room after being stabbed? Think about it. If Mr. Yutaka wasn't the murderer, then why do you run away?
Wait! I got it! Now I've got it. I know what happened in there. Are you even listening to me?
Yeah. Come on, then. Let's hear it.
I'm sure Mr. Yutaka's the one who stabbed Mr. Keiichi. Like you said, why else would he run away unless he was the guy that did it?
Yeah, that's true.
So Mr. Yutaka stabbed Mr. Keiichi, we know that. But how did it happen? I'm pretty sure it was an accident. They were arguing. Mr. Yutaka lost his temper, picked up the fruit knife, started waving it around, and bam! But the knife didn't go all the way through to Mr. Keiichi's heart. The notebook stopped the knife. It was stuck in him, but it wasn't fatal. Here's where it gets complicated. Mr. Keiichi went into shock and passed out right there on the spot. When that happened, Mr. Yutaka thought he'd killed his brother and ran. Now comes the tricky part. Mr. Keiichi, who wasn't dead, stayed unconscious throughout the night and came to the next morning. When he woke up, Mr. Keiichi was in a daze. He stood up, but his legs were a little wobbly. He remembered how his brother tried to kill him, so he staggered over to the door to lock himself in. This part's the most tragic of all. Mr. Keiichi, still dazed, tripped over his own feet and fell face down on the floor. The weight of his body pushed the knife up into his heart, and that's what caused Mr. Keiichi's death. That's how it happened.
Wait a minute. You honestly think it all went down that smoothly?
What are you gonna do? That's the way it happened. Unless you've got a better idea.
I'm sure that Mr. Yutaka would know if he really killed his brother or not. Besides, when we got to him, Mr. Keiichi was lying face up. If everything happened the way you said, we would have found Mr. Keiichi lying face down, not face up.
Well, that's true, but... No. No, wait! If that's how it really happened, then...
Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I guess I wasn't thinking straight there for a second.
Hey! Can you hear me? You guys okay?
It looks like Haruhi's deduction has completely crumbled. But if that's the case, what really happened? Mr. Yutaka wasn't on the island when Mr. Keiichi died, which means that somebody else is the murderer here. Hey!
You scared me! Stop it!
Stealing food, eh?
I was hungry. You're mean. I'm sorry about that. I'll bring something up to your room right away. Hey, no fair. Someone got to eat their food before anyone else. Yes, it was Mr. Arakawa. He hasn't had a thing to eat since this morning, so I delivered his meal ahead of everyone else.
You always find a way to embarrass me, don't you? Huh?
Is something wrong? Yuki, it's me. Open the door. I was told to not open the door for anyone. But it's okay now. Open up! Then I would be opening the door for someone. I was told not to open it for anyone.
I take it Miss Asahina's still unconscious in there.
I'd assume she is, otherwise we'd hear her.
Yuki, when I said anyone, I meant anyone who isn't a member of the SOS Brigade. I mean, we're all members, right? That is not what I was told. I was given an order to lock this door, and under no circumstances was I to open it for anyone. But Yuki, you didn't say anything when I left the room a little while ago. My orders did not specify the door being opened from inside this room.
Hey, Nagato. As of right now, Haruhi's order has been retracted. If you want, I'll just give you a new order. Look, my sister's out here. Please open the door.
Jeez, you don't have to be so literal all the time.
Maybe that was Nagato's way of playing a joke on us. Come on, Nagato. No expression, not even a blush. Your face never changes. You can't be serious all the time, can you?
Thanks, Yuki.
What do you think we should do now? Do you want to keep trying to find the answers to this mystery?
Not anymore. I guess I'm not the great detective I thought I was. Oh well, we'll let the police handle this one.
I see. So that's what you were talking about in the cave.
But something's strange. If she really wanted to play the detective so much, why did she just suddenly drop the whole thing like that?
I think I can understand that, or at least where she's coming from. Would you like to hear my theory about it?
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Up to a certain point, Miss Suzumiya's deductions are correct, but the last part of the mystery is where she got it wrong. Mr. Keiichi was stabbed by Mr. Yutaka. However, he didn't die right away. Mr. Yutaka thought he killed him, so he fled. That's all correct. But Mr. Keiichi came to because of our knocking and shouting just before we tried opening the door. He staggered over, dazed and locked, and then... That was the moment the knife was pushed through the notebook and into Mr. Keiichi's body.
In other words, he was really killed.
By the people who ran the door in. Basically, it was me, and it was you, and it was also Mr. Arakawa. I'm positive Miss Suzumiya figured all that out, and that's why she didn't say anything. She was protecting us. That's why she decided to keep the truth of this case to herself.
Your theory does make a lot of sense. But it's unfortunate you had to figure out the truth. All I have to do is keep you quiet, and this whole thing goes away. No one will ever know. Isn't that right?
Someone help me! Help me! Help me! It's Koizumi! I don't know who, but somebody stabbed him in the chest with a knife and he's dead!
What did you say? Impossible.
Come on! Follow me! Hurry! Hurry! I never thought you'd be such a badass.
Yeah, well, just keep your mouth shut and I won't have to kill you, too. Here's how it goes. Mr. Yutaka snuck back here and killed Koizumi. Only a killer knows their motive, right? So we stated we thought he seemed a little off. Yeah, he was acting weird. That'll be the story.
You think the police would actually buy that?
Yeah, but first we're gonna have to stab the corpse a few more times. It'll make Mr. Yutaka seem like a total psycho. Here goes! Wait!
Well, it looks like we've been found out. The game's over and we lost.
It's true. You beat us fair and square.
I'm sorry. I did it because Kieran told me to. Right. Now, Madame Haruhi, supernatural genius and #1 sleuth, will reveal the results of her amazing detectiving.
Why don't you pat yourself on the back a little harder?
By now, it should be evident that the murder mystery was in fact an elaborate hoax designed and orchestrated by Koizumi, the Tomorrow Brothers, Mr. Arakawa, and Miss Mori. It was an impressive plot, especially with that red herring at the end.
Nice observation. It was all in fun, though. A surprise party with a twist, if you will.
I'm sure she knew what was up right from the start.
Hate to admit it, but in the beginning, you guys had me going. Until I got your fake solution where Mr. Keiichi was killed by Kyon and the boys busted through the door. But I realized something. If he really did collide with the door hard enough to push the knife through to his heart, then the door should have had blood or scratches on it. But there wasn't anything like that on the inside of the door.
I noticed that, thank you.
Okay, but you're talking about a really sturdy door there. I mean, I don't think that gives you very much evidence to suspect anything.
There were other fishy things as well, like the day when Koizumi first met Mr. Arakawa. He said, I haven't seen you in so long, but Mr. Arakawa said he only started working here a week ago, so it would have been the first time they met.
You are 100% correct.
I figured that one out, too.
There was also that time when we all ran up to Mr. Keiichi's room. You headed right down the hall to his door, right, Koizumi? So how could you have known which room was his? You told us this was the first time you'd ever been here, remember?
I can't believe it. Not just one, but two mistakes?
But that's not so strange. He could have found out which room was mine while the rest of you were off doing something else.
That is correct. However, the final clue was the empty plate Kyon saw in the kitchen. I'll let Kyon take this one, because I didn't actually see the plate.
I noticed that Mr. Keiichi is the only one on this island who eats with a fork and knife instead of chopsticks. Of course, there's the possibility that Mr. Arakawa eats with a fork and knife, too. But you see, the carrots remained on the plate untouched. That's when I realized that it was actually Mr. Keiichi's meal.
If you add it all up, there's only one conclusion to come to, and that is, there was never a murder to begin with. Mr. Keiichi was, is, and always has been alive! Wow!
I'm sure that in her mind, Haruhi's probably hearing applause that's 100 times bigger than that.
So, we've decided to turn the tables and put on a little show of our own. Then the fight I saw on the balcony that day was part of the act as well.
That's right.
And that late-night phone call was a fake, too.
I was planning on letting the cat out of the bag at some point.
I'm still amazed you solved the mystery so quickly.
Well, all of your sleuthing caused their whole dastardly scheme to unravel. That was some nice detective work there.
Of course! It's elementary, my dear Watson! Elementary!
So all of this was something your organization cooked up?
Yes, the Tamadu brothers, Mr. Arakawa, and Miss Mori are all colleagues of mine.
I told you we'd have a
We
blast!
believed it would be best if Miss Suzumiya had a mystery to keep in mind for any strange thoughts, if you know what I mean. Well, you do. Although, bringing your sister along was not a part of the plan.
I asked you at the beginning of this trip, and you told me that the organization didn't have anything to do with it.
Naturally. I mean, I couldn't tell you the truth about their involvement right then. If you don't mind me asking, when did you catch on to our scheme?
To tell you the truth, I knew about it right from the beginning.
Indeed.
An incident like that.
You will buy soft serve ice cream 5 minutes and 15 seconds from now. You will drop it in 5 minutes and 28 seconds from now. You will hit your head on a sign 7 minutes and 6 seconds from now. And then you will bump into your girlfriend and fall over. The items in her bag will scatter, leading to a corner.
Take it easy, Naruto. You're telling a fortune, it's not predicting your future.
You and I both know very well that the law of probability governs all of nature and the world around us. And yet, having witnessed this phenomenon, I now find it difficult to believe in such a thing. Perhaps we should think on this occurrence in a different way. That we are in the midst of something supernatural, a far cry from anything we have ever known. For example, let us say that we have 6 mice and we toss them into the air.
Could you just let us know when we're supposed to laugh?
Come on in and check out our stuff today. We're sorry if you're not.
Huh? You guys have any luck?
No, not as much as I expected. Table tennis club had ping pong ice cream, though.
Senior year class 3 had some good Odin.
Junior year class 5 had chocolate-covered bananas that were more bananas than
You're
chocolate.
kidding. All you're doing is eating?
Yeah, we're just sampling the food.
Now it's time to get to the real deal, though. The Cosplay Cafe.
Man, that bunny girl outfit from a while back was unbelievable. I wonder what she's gonna wear today.
Yeah, well, we acted in your movie for free, and then I was pushed in the water for free, and all we got to show for it is a coupon for 30% off some fried noodles. You ask me, it really wasn't worth
If
it.
you don't like it, don't come. Just go home.
Yeah, right. Not before I sneak a peek at Miss Asahina in all her cosplay glory.
I wonder if she'll be a waitress in a tight little miniskirt like she was in the movie.
Her sense of style isn't the same as Haruhi's, buddy. What, a waitress outfit handmade by one of her classmates? I'm so there.
Thank you. Hey, it's cute and it's bunnies. Come on over here, you guys. Thanks for coming by. Table for 3 today? Oh, wait. What do you think about my outfit? Doesn't this thing look totally awesome on me, my guys? Aren't I cute, Yoda?
Oh, absolutely. You're packing them in.
The fish always take the bait. I mean, it's just bad fried noodles made with really cheap ingredients, but look at all these people standing in line. We're raking in so much money, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just coincidence that all your customers are guys.
Oh, and over there's the end of the line. Go on, get in line. Here we are. Please pay in advance. Oh, and another thing. We've only got fried noodles and tap water. Now, the noodles are 300 yen each, but the water's free, so it's all you can drink.
So what's this get us?
Let's see. So it's just the 3 of you. With these things, we're talking 500 yen. Some deal, huh? Okay, boys. Hang out here for a second. Your turn will be coming up shortly. Wow, she's a hyper girl.
Is she a member of you and Suzumiya's bunch of wackos, too?
Nope.
By the way, don't forget to split the change with us.
He got me. The short lay that Yasuri I was talking about was 30 minutes. So we stood outside and waited until she finally let us in.
Okay. Oh, welcome to our cafe.
She's a dazzling waitress who put $1 million view of the city lights to shame. She's got a different glimmer here in the back of the club.
Welcome, and thank you so much for stopping by to see us today. Thank you for your help on the movie.
I see. If they let you take pictures, it'd be a riot for sure. I'd give those costumes the award for best design. And then you got those two, who could be on the cover of a teen fashion magazine. Put them together, it's a magnificent sight.
Hey, Karu's in charge of collecting the tickets. She's also the one clearing the empty plates and refilling the water. If I let her serve the noodles, she'd probably trip and spill them on somebody.
Wow, she really gets it. In the end, pressured by the super fast customer turnaround, we inhaled the fried noodles in about 5 minutes, and left the place feeling slightly less than satisfied.
So what do you guys want to do? I was thinking we could check out the movie you guys made. I kind of want to see what I look like on the big screen.
Pass. It's probably going to be lame.
I quite agree. However, hearing that coming from you really irks me.
Man, those fried noodles weren't enough. Oh, yeah, next up's the barbecue hosted by the Science Club.
You're still hungry?
Before we hit that barbecue, how about we score us some hotties?
Hotties?
That's right, Mr. Kunakita, hotties. We find a couple of girls dressed casual, kind of like those two, then we make with the chit-chat, and it's on. It's a tactic I developed over years of experience.
What good is your experience when your success rate is 0? Thanks, but I'll pass. You guys are on your own.
I think I'll pass too. Look, and if you find a girl to hang out with, you can introduce me to one of her friends.
What? So you guys are just gonna chicken out?
I'm not a coward. It's just that if a certain someone saw me hitting on a girl, it could be a little bit of a problem. Actually, a big problem. Look, just try to enjoy the rest of the arts festival. And do it normally. Now then, where should I go next?
Don't forget, people, that we got a raffle going on for a brand new scooter today.
The wind ensemble's performing in a lecture hall, and the rock club's hosting a concert with a bunch of bands. I guess I'll head over there. After pulling that all-nighter, it's the perfect place to rest my sleep-deprived body.
You're kidding. What the hell is she doing?
Blazing on by, there's nothing more that I can do. I'm sorry that I'll never be with you again. Even though my heavy heart is hard to break, I know somehow your sorrow's something I won't see. It's my life, I'm moving on and never going back there. But you just turn away and leave me on the lonely rail. God knows that I would follow you if that is what you wanted. Take me into all your darkest shadows and you'll see that I'm even stronger than you could know. God knows that I am standing here and you could disappear, slipping right over the edge of the future. If I had my way, we'd be together forever, eternally godless. The way you're standing there, I feel as though we're almost one again, and yet we're miles apart in time. Beneath the pale blue moon, I see your eyes are glistening with so much love. It's telling you I'm hard to be here. You know it. God knows that I would follow you if that is what you wanted. Take me into all your darkest shadows and you'll see that I'm even stronger than you could know. God knows that I'm standing here and you could disappear, slipping right over the edge of the future. If I had my way, we'd be together forever, eternally godless.
Miss Suzumiya is very good. And so is Miss Nagato.
What's up with that outfit you're wearing?
I hurried over here as soon as I heard. The student council was buzzing with this rumor about how Miss Suzumiya was going to be doing something in the lecture hall today.
This would be that something.
Hi. Everyone, this is Enos. The name Enos comes from using the first letter of the last name of each of the members: Enomoto, Nakanishi, Okajima, and Saizen. Unfortunately, something happened and Enomoto and Nakanishi couldn't come up here to perform for you today. That's Yuki over there. Well, she and I aren't in the band. We're just filling in. Sorry. Let me introduce you to the real members of the band. On drums, we have Mizuki. And that's Mai on bass. And filling in for Miss Nakanishi on guitar, Yuki. And I'm filling in for Miss Enomoto today on guitar and vocals. I don't know if I can play this thing very well. In fact, I don't know if I'm doing so hot singing either. What I'm saying is that I got the sheet music about an hour ago, so I'm sort of winging it here. By the way, if there's anyone out there who wants to hear the real song performed with the real vocalist and guitarist, come see us after the show, okay? Oh, and if you want to bring a mini disc, we'll make a copy of the songs for you for free. Is that cool? So that's that. We're gonna do one more. I didn't have much time, so I only got 2 songs down. This will be the last one. Sorry if you were expecting more, but we're playing our hearts out up here for you. You ready? This is Lost My Music. When I look up at the sky, I can't help wonder why we can't be here together. Hey! And no matter where you are right now, all I want is to be by your side. Every time I think of you, I passing out flyers for our movie, but I ran out, so I headed back to the club room to get some more. I was walking by the shoe lockers, and I saw the band arguing with the festival operations committee. I guess they weren't going to let them on stage to play. The lead singer, Miss Enomoto, had to go to the hospital the night before because she got a case of tonsillitis. And on the day of the concert, Miss Nakanishi, the guitarist, tripped and sprained her wrist, so neither of them could perform. Miss Nakanishi's a singer, and this was her last North High festival. She wanted to play even if it killed her. They were going to play new songs, but in the end, Miss Nakanishi had to be taken away to get her wrist looked at.
And that's when you decided to get involved and cut the band out?
I can really understand how they felt. Even if my throat was racked and my arm went numb, I'd be up on that stage playing on willpower alone.
I don't doubt it.
But when I saw Miss Nakanishi, I figured there wasn't anything they could do. I mean, if you saw her, you'd feel bad for the other members of the band, right? They must have practiced so hard for that show. So then this is what I told them. Since you guys are in a jam, you want me to fill in for her?
I'm kind of surprised that the other two girls agreed to let you do that.
I told them all I'd do was sing, and both Miss Okajima and Miss Aizen said, hey, with you, we just might pull it off. After all, I was in the rock club for a little bit, and they probably remember me from back then.
Stories about Haruhi's eccentricity are pretty well known, but she's also famous for being a super utility player. She can do anything and everything.
I wanted to play all the guitar stuff, too, but there wasn't enough time to learn it. I had to go over the sheet music. All I could do was get the main chords down.
That explains Nagato.
Yeah. I barged in on her fortune-telling bracket, and when I told her what was happening, she decided to join me. Did you see her play? I never knew she was so dexterous. She took one look at the music and then played it perfectly. I wonder where the heck that girl learned to play guitar like that.
Probably the moment you brought it up.
Hey, it looks like we have a couple guests. They want to see Miss Suzumiya.
Well, go talk to them.
Okay, but you're coming too. Is your throat any better today? Yeah, thanks for asking. And how's your wrist doing? It's not 100% yet, so studying for my exams will be a drag. I wanted to thank you, Miss Suzumiya. You won't believe how many requests we got for the original songs after the show. It's crazy. We can't dub our stuff onto mini discs fast enough. There's so many people who want it. But really, it's all thanks to you. Because of what you did for us, our songs didn't have to go to waste. And we really appreciate it. You're something else, Miss Suzumiya. This festival was going to be my last memory with the rock club, so I really wanted to play it. But this was way better than having us back out of it. Yeah. Anyway, we want to do something for you in return. No, it's okay, really. They were great songs, and I had a blast singing them. I'd feel bad if you guys wouldn't give me something on top of that experience. Actually, why don't you tell Yuki? I want her to hear it, because I kind of forced her to come along and play. We already went to her class. She just nodded once, and then she pointed us to this classroom. Oh. Hey, we're going to play a gig somewhere before we graduate, so if you want, come check us out, okay? And you can bring your friend here with you, too.
And after that, Haruhi slipped into one of her moods. Then when lunchtime came around, she rushed out of the classroom.
I'm serious. There wasn't a single decent-looking girl at the arts festival. You want to know what I think? I think this school's built on a bad location. We'd get a better crowd if it wasn't on this hill.
After lunch, I took a walk. I figured it would settle my stomach. And no, there wasn't any other reason. Hey.
Yeah, what is it? I didn't have time to practice, so we had to make them sound simpler. People want to listen to the real thing, though, don't they?
You're talking about all the people that want minidiscs?
Yeah.
That was a heck of a performance for being on the fly, though. Don't you think it was good publicity for them?
If I just had one more day to practice, I could have nailed it. Part of me's asking, was it good enough? Could it have been better? I don't know. How do I explain it? When I was up on that stage, I felt like I was really doing something. This sucks. I mean, why can't I just forget about it already?
How should I know? But I do. It's because you're just not used to being appreciated by others. The things you do aren't things that people usually thank you for.
What is it now? If you've got something to say, just say it. Spit it out already. It's probably something stupid anyway, but don't just stand there and keep it bottled up. It's not good for you.
Seriously, it's nothing. It is autumn now, and the arts festival ended several days ago without incident. Peace and quiet had returned to the campus. You could say it was just another ordinary day. Then again, I shouldn't be so quick to label an afternoon spent at the SOS Brigade headquarters as ordinary. I mean, every day I hang out with an alien, a time traveler, and an esper, and I'm still as sane and objective as ever. I wonder if that makes me special or something. I'm sure Lacan's dying to have a word with me.
You seem worried. Is something wrong?
Nope. I was just thinking about how awesome I am for being able to cope with this absurd situation. And if you ask me, I think I'm due for a little praise.
You're right. Well, would you like me to give you some words of praise then?
You praising me won't make me any happier. All it'll do is make me think you got something up your sleeve.
True enough.
Sorry this took so long. I bought this step teacup Harigane. It's the first time I've ever made it, so I hope I brewed it well.
Nonsense. If the divine hands of Miss Asahina touched it, even tap water would taste better than melted snow from the Alps.
I hope you like the flavor.
By the way, where's Miss Suzumiya?
She's got cleanup duty. It sure is peaceful when she's not around, isn't it?
Yes, I'm coming. It's the president of the computer club.
Isn't your leader here today?
You guys want something?
First, I want you to take this. You'll find some game software on that disc. Yeah, it's an original game that we designed and developed. We had it on display at the arts festival. Maybe you saw it?
I don't remember. The only memory I want to retain from the arts festival is the image of Miss Asahina wearing that maid outfit.
Really? Perhaps we were exhibiting it in the wrong place.
So what did you guys want?
That's right. We've come here to challenge you in your brigade thing. A duel. We fight a duel using our game. Really, a duel. We want a duel against you guys.
Thank you.
A duel,
Please
a
stop
duel.
repeating the word
And with
duel
this
over
duel,
and
we're
over.
gonna stop the
If Haruhi's such a sharp ears could hear you, he'd be as good as...
So, you want a duel? Who are you guys anyway? I bet you thinks there's some kind of secret syndicate trying to muscle my SOS brigade out of the way. I won't let that happen. Annihilating evil and shining light upon darkness is the sworn duty of a hero of justice.
Haruhi, you should listen to what people have to say before you kick them.
No, a duel is a duel from the very moment the word is mentioned. Anything the loser says after that is just an excuse. It's you guys? Why are the computer club geeks picking a fight with us?
That's exactly what they were about to explain to us before you took him out.
Oh, they were, huh?
Rotten SOS Brigade. Whatever. We, the members of the computer club, hereby challenge the SOS Brigade to a duel.
A duel?
Come on, guys. It's time to move the story along.
Well, what's this all about?
We made a game, and we want to fight you guys in it. And if we win, you have to return it to us.
What do you mean? Return what?
If you're not using it, give back our computer.
But I use this thing all the time. A couple of days ago, we cut our movie on it.
Actually, I did that.
And we made our homepage with it.
Yep, did that too.
What are you talking about? You barely even update your homepage.
Aha. So he's the guy who's always visiting our site. That explains the camel cricket.
Wait a second. When I went over there and I said I wanted it, you said you'd give it to me. You remember it too, don't you, Kelly?
You sure about that?
The deal is off, and besides, you bullied me into it. In fact, I'm even willing to forget the mental trauma you inflicted upon me when you abducted my computer. Yes, I want to forget it. We should both forget it. Anyway, whatever. We want to fight you. You got it?
Sure, you got it. If you want to fight us so bad, then we accept your challenge. Now then, what do you guys give us if we win?
Well, let's see. How about 4 brand new laptops? That's 1 laptop for each member.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
Really? I'm not going to let you call it off if you change your mind. You understand?
Don't worry, you have my word.
You're pretty confident, aren't you? All right. Now that I think about it, you guys don't have any girls in your club. If you guys beat us, we'll give her to you. How about that?
Huh?
I'm sure you guys can find a good use for Yuki. Since you're putting up 4 computers against the one we have, Yuki helps to even out the stakes.
Yeah, well, no. There's a big difference between the specs of 4 laptops and Naruto, but you wouldn't know that.
Really? Then do you want Miku instead?
Why don't you be the prize? If you're going to bet anything, how about you go ahead and bet your own body? Stop being so selfish for once.
What are you talking about? Are you forgetting that I'm the divine and sacred figurehead of the SOS Brigade? I'm your leader, dummy. I will never give up this position except to the person I feel is the chosen one.
You mean you're going to stay here even after you graduate?
What's it gonna be? Who do you prefer?
Well,
I see, so that's how it's gonna be. If you insist, you can have me.
no, absolutely no way.
The game is an online space battle simulator. 5 players versus 5. The battle will begin at 4 o'clock 1 week from today. Until then, you should brush up on your skills. We'll be disappointed if you're too weak.
He's acting like he's already won.
How generous of you to give us our prizes in advance. After all, each brigade member should have their own computer.
And she's acting the exact same way. About this duel coming up. Let's just try not to cheat, okay?
Cheat? Us?
Yeah, this time around, all alien, futuristic, and Esper methods of cheating are 100% completely off limits. You got that? We will fight fairly and accept the outcome, whatever that may be. That is the best way.
Then you won't mind if we just happen to lose the game.
That's right. The only thing we're gonna lose is that computer we stole from them. And I guess that's not such a big deal. Although, if that does happen, I'm gonna need to relocate the Asahina gallery.
Oh, I'm not talking about the computer. Miss Suzumiya doesn't like to lose at anything, ever, remember? Whenever she feels like she's going to lose, she creates closed space. And then she lets those you-know-whats loose. You'll be okay with that?
I don't really care. Besides, it's about damn time that girl learned her lesson. What's up? You're creeping me out.
No, sorry. I just got a bit jealous is all. I admit, I'm a little envious of the invisible trust that exists between Miss Suzumiya and yourself.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Let's say we lose the game against the computer club next week. And based on what you've already seen with your own eyes, you're choosing to believe that Miss Suzumiya won't create a closed space this time. Well, that's because you trust her. Then there's Miss Suzumiya. She believes you're the one who's going to lead our team to victory. So she trusts you. She's so confident she's going to win that she'd risk losing her own members in a wager. That is trust. Although she'd never come right out and say it, the truth of the matter is that between the two of you, there's the most ideal bond of trust I've ever seen. The Day of Sagittarius Part 3, huh?
So there was a Part 1 and Part 2 before this version?
Lame. Sounds like they were going for something cool sounding. Doesn't make any sense, though.
What are you talking about? Is the SOS Brigade any better? Well, at least the game looks simple enough to play. Each of the 5 players is given a fleet of 15,000 spaceships, which they're able to command from their own computer. You win the game by destroying all the enemy ships or by blowing up the enemy leader's flagship.
What's with this right side?
That's your line of sight. You can see enemies and obstacles only when they're inside that bubble. In order to play, you'll have to send out scout ships from your fleet to increase your field of vision. Basically, in order to win this thing, it looks like you need to find out where your enemy is, then take him out as fast as you can.
So you can't see the enemy in the beginning? Q, I'm not really good at stuff like this. I don't think I understand it at all.
Hey, don't worry. Just take your time, get used to the controls, and try and have some fun with it.
This is not supposed to be fun. We're gonna crush the computer club so hard they won't be able to stand up. Now let's get some training happening. Naturally, I'll be commanding this outfit. Now hop to it! Battle positions!
At least we've got Nagato on our side. I take it back. We're dead.
All ships, attack! All ships, attack! All ships, attack! All ships, attack! We got beat again! Killing this rotten game's irritating me!
It's because you keep rushing in. You don't just charge into battle at the beginning.
Jeez, this thing is such a drag. I'd much rather play something easier to understand.
Is it just me, or are you having fun over there? I meant what I said before. There's absolutely no cheating this time, okay?
Today the skies are clear and the waves are high. This battle will decide the destiny of the Empire. And believe me, this is just the beginning. We'll vaporize anything that gets in our way. The SOS Brigade will make its name known to the ends of the universe. One day I'll talk to the Board of Education about creating branches of the SOS Brigade in every public school. Obviously we're going to win, but I still won't allow any slacking. Now pulverizer!
Whatever gives her that confidence, I want it. Even if it's only 2 milligrams, I want it.
Oh, really? Do you want me to pump some into you? There, that did the trick.
What good does it do to stare at me and make me uncomfortable?
I charged my glare with a bunch of energy and sent it to you. You probably felt something like your body getting warmer. Maybe you're starting to sweat. You feel it, don't you? You feel it?
No, I felt like my life was in danger.
Looks like the game's about to begin.
All ships ahead!
Well, the game has begun. And as luck would have it, we've just run across an enemy fleet. Thanks to Nagato, we somehow managed to figure out the enemy's movements. She scouts and fights the enemy simultaneously. Talk about bravery. Miss Asahina, the gaming novice, and Haruhi, the charging idiot, are completely useless. It's 5 against 3, and we're the ones outnumbered.
The enemy's using a V formation to try to lure us into their firing range. I think we should counter with a defensive strategy.
Sounds like a great plan. But what would Haruhi say about this strategy of yours?
What the? We're being attacked by another enemy fleet? Where'd these guys come from?
They're going after my fleet, too. How did they figure out where we were?
What are you doing? Hurry up and start retaliating!
I didn't need you to tell me that. Starboard, 90 degrees. Open all cannons.
It sounds like someone's getting serious about this game.
Enemy fleet in range. Beam cannons, open fire. Wait, hang on. Damn, they got away.
Same over here. They unloaded on us for a bit, then they vanished into thin air.
The old hit and run tactic, huh?
Oh, they're back. Other side.
They're just picking us off.
What are you doing, Slowpoke? They're getting away!
I know, but I can't do anything to stop them. Those jerks are hitting us from both sides.
It's time to launch the nuts!
Here I go! Wait!
I can't take this anymore! Attention, please! Full speed ahead! I'm gonna find the enemy leader and call him to bits!
What are you doing? Pull back!
He's right. Leave this to us.
Out of my way! The leaders are gonna duke this out one-on-one!
Pull back! We don't even know where he is!
Then leave it to me! I'll find him!
I'm telling you, pull back!
Let's calm down. The enemy's shooting at us.
I can't! I'm stuck here! We're gonna lose this thing. What the?
Wow, she split up her fleet.
You could do that?
I remember reading about it in the back of the manual. Apparently, you can split your fleet up into 20 squadrons and control them separately. The thing is, it isn't humanly possible to control so many squadrons at the same time, so nobody was doing it.
Isn't humanly possible, huh?
Aren't you afraid you'll break the keyboard hitting it that hard? Anyone accepting defeat will be punished by running 10 laps around the school! Naked! And you'll have to yell Grey Martians are chasing me for the whole 10 laps!
Miss Nagato? Yeah, hi. What exactly are you doing right now? Hey, Nagato.
What?
I thought I told you before that we weren't going to cheat this time.
I am not. Currently, I am not engaged in manipulating special data. I am adhering to the rules of the game.
You're serious?
I am serious. The computer club is the one that is cheating.
They are? Then what are they doing?
They've deactivated their scouting mode. Since the beginning of the game, everything on the map, including our positions, has been visible.
It's amazing. I understood what you just said. They got it fixed so that we can't see where they're hiding, but they can see where we are. It's no wonder they're killing us.
Yes, since we started playing, we never had any option except losing. I want to change that.
Okay, they've been cheating. I understand that. However, if we start using magic to cheat back at them, at the end of the day, we're no better than they are. You get where I'm coming from? In fact, we'd be worse than them.
I repeat, I am not disobeying your orders. I would like to modify the program in a manner that is consistent with the current levels of Earth technology, ensuring equal playing conditions. May I?
Are you doing this because you want to win? Okay, let's do it then.
Nice, very nice. I was a little worried there when they fired up the squadron mode, but we've still got the advantage.
We see them, but they can't see us. Time to wrap this up. Destroy them! Annihilate the SOS Brigade! What?
Chief, scouting mode has been activated. They're attacking our blind spot. We haven't heard their movements.
What are you idiots doing? Deactivate scouting mode! Turn it off!
We can't change it. It's not access. We're locked out.
That's impossible!
I gotcha! Fire, fire, fire!
Say goodnight!
Damn you, killer! That's my enemy!
We've managed to destroy 2 of the enemy's fleets, and the others are looking a bit confused. Thanks to Miss Nagato's squadrons, it looks like the tides of war have finally turned in our favor.
Yeah, but the enemy leader's still out there. So how are we going to take him out?
No problem. I'll force him your way.
Damn it!
Wow, it's driving his fleet right into our sights.
Just like the mouse caught in a trap.
Am I supposed to shoot this thing? I don't get what just happened, but great job, guys! All ships open fire! Go out there and burn the enemy leader with all the fires of hell! He's getting away!
This can't be happening! Glory to the computer club! I'm lost. We're beaten. And I'll apologize now. I admit it. I'm sorry. But I can't believe. I just can't believe the program was rewritten during gameplay. That's impossible.
What are you mumbling about? Whatever. You do remember your promise, right? These laptops belong to the SOS Brigade now, and I won't let you back out of it.
Hey, tell me. I want to know who did it. Whoever cracked that program has to be some kind of super hacker. Never mind, I think I know who it was. If you ever have free time, I was wondering if you'd consider participating in computer club activities. Please?
Great, he's trying to recruit Yuki.
Whoa, hang on. You can't just rent Yuki without my permission. Got it? She's the silent character in the SOS Brigade lineup. And besides, I saw her first, so there.
Hang on. The SOS Brigade always seems to get involved with strange things. Well, actually, I'm the one getting involved with strange things. But even so, it's not like something weird has to happen to us on a daily basis. Besides, if life dropped a crazy bomb on me every day, my body wouldn't take it. It'd just crumble. It would be even worse for my mood. Still, when Haruhi isn't around, it's really quiet. It's kind of nice. Then again, maybe it's a bit too quiet. Come to think of it, it's been 6 months since I first met Haruhi, Miss Asahina, and the others. We've been through a lot together. And sure, Haruhi's provoked a lot of it, but not necessarily all of it. Well, either way, one thing's for sure. It was always at times like this, when we were just kicking back and relaxing, that Haruhi would bust through that door.
Everyone, listen up! I got some really good news!
What, again? Whenever Haruhi describes something as being good, news or otherwise, rarely has that ever been the case. And that's especially true for Miss Asahina and myself. What is it this time?
I've got everything all set up to get us a heater for this icebox of a room. Oh, your tea. You know that appliance store that sponsored our movie? Well, I just got the order to give us a heater for free. He called me up and said he had an extra heater he wanted to get rid of. It's a model from last year, and it's been sitting in storage so long they forgot they had it.
I just can't believe there's an appliance store owner out there who's both willing and kind enough to call Haruhi and offer her anything. I'm sure she must have forced the deal on him somehow.
Okay, Kyun. I want you to go to the store and pick it up for us right now.
Right now? Like now?
Right. You, now. Right now.
Let me get this straight. You want me to go down the mountain, the one I have to climb up and down every morning? You want me to go down that thing right now to an appliance store that is 2 whole train stations away, pick up a heater, then lug that thing back here?
That's right, because if you don't, the guy might change his mind and then we're out of free heater. Don't complain, just hurry up and go. You're bored anyway, aren't you?
Oh, that's great. Sitting in this room is enough to label you as being bored. Nice. Aren't you bored? Why don't you do it?
I can't. There's something important I need to take care of right now. Koizumi is the deputy chief, and you're just a rank-and-file member. That's the deal in every group I know of. The grounds always work their butts off. Naturally, the SOS Brigade totally supports that policy.
Oh, well. For once, Haruhi's made a reasonable request. I'd give up. Besides, I was just thinking how this place could use a heater anyway. If she's going to force Miss Asahina or an Audrey to go, then I'll go.
George. Hold on. I heard it's going to be chilly today.
Thank you.
Hurry up and go! Go on, get going! Well, now that he's out of the way, Mikuru, I want to take a couple of pictures of you. Do you mind posing? What are the pictures going to be for? It's for the DVD. I'm going to make a DVD of the adventures of Mikuru Asahina, and I still need to shoot a sexy cover for it. What? You mean you're really going to go through with that? But I thought you said you weren't going to. I just said that because Kyon was nagging me about it, but now that I got rid of him, nothing's going to stop me.
The first day I had to climb this hill to get to school, I hated it. But after walking up and down the thing for the last 6 months, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to A, hiking to and from school, and B, the SOS Brigade. Funny how that works. I wonder what Haruhi's doing right now, since I'm not around. I just hope she's not bored and treating Miss Asahina like some kind of toy or something.
Koizumi, hold the bounce guard for me.
Right, got it.
Mikuru, stop spacing out. Pose. Come on, pose. Come on, smile like you're flirting with a cute guy. Where's the doctor? Come on. It's not going to cut it for the male things. Get sultry, girl. Costume change. Put this one on. Come on, stop stalling. Mikuru, come on. Let's go. Come on. Okay, haven't seen my power. Here, faster, but no. Oh my God. Well, you're gonna have to take it off anyway. Mikuru, wow, those things are even bigger. You look dynamite, girl.
Oh, that's not good. My tea's gone cold.
It's really cold in here. Can we stop now? This is so embarrassing. Mikuru, you need to have a little more confidence in yourself. You're the best mascot on campus. I wouldn't have picked you if you didn't have what it takes. Right, Koizumi?
It's exactly as you say.
Okay, next. Try this. Okay.
idea.
No, wait! The DVD needs a bonus feature section. We can put these pictures there. What do you think about that idea, Koizumi?
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Steer on in there.
Looks like we might be in for a little bit of rain today, doesn't it?
Nice! It's the funniest thing ever. You're kidding. No, no, no. Good. Next outfit. What? Settling the zipper. Flashes and barriers. So these have to go. And zoom. This is so fun. Taking all your clothes off.
Well, there's the heater I promised her. Can you carry it back okay?
Oh, yeah, I think I can manage.
And about the girls, how are those three cutie pies doing these days?
Pretty good, but the energetic one's starting to get on my nerves. The commercial help business any?
Honestly, I haven't seen any difference so far.
Figures. Putting a commercial in the middle of a movie showing at a high school arts festival isn't what you'd call a stroke of marketing genius. I'm surprised this guy actually sponsored it.
That reminds me, on the energetic one called today, she mentioned something about a sequel. Is it true? Are you really going to make another movie?
Well, if she says we're making another movie, we're making another movie.
She asked if I'd want to sponsor it, and I told her I'd be happy to, so... So I guess you can consider this heater my donation to your next cinematic wonder.
So that's how she got it. Guess I'll head back now. Thank you very much for the heater.
No worries, take care.
You are the culprit. Oh, the red player has picked number 14. Very well. I wonder how that's going to affect the game today. Next question.
Amazing. Just by showing up, she's changed the atmosphere on the stage. But she seems completely different, doesn't she? She's not the same as she was a few minutes ago. What a terrifying little girl.
Ramen noodle set. Fried rice set. Tempuroi konsoba set. Young man ace. Middle-aged ace. Retirement ace. Non-promoted ace. Next year ace. Unfortunate ace. I love it after all. Ace.
Why don't you do your best to beat me? Bring it on! What you guys have done is snappy, crackly, and totally obvious to us. He looks like a child, but he's pretty subtle on the inside. A powerful ally all over town.
Bow down. Bow down. Can you not see this crest that I hold?
Because I am the queen of the France.
Now back to your spot. You've still got a ways to go. Hello, we're the Arctic Sea Ice Candy. You know, Yuki, you're as sexy as ever.
Where are you looking, pervert? I'm calling the cops.
Starting with a low blow, I feel like I've been accused of groping people on a crab tray.
Yeah, let's say it's winter now.
Right, it's winter. And speaking of winter,
Baseball's off season.
oh boy, there, Yuki, why even the WBC is shaking in their cleats.
I'm really looking forward to seeing you get that pink slip.
That's a really dark way of enjoying it, but okay. Well, you know, that's almost Christmas, isn't it?
I want to eat a hot pot.
Right. You can't do without hot pots. Winter.
What do you put in your hot pot?
Let's see. Have cabbage, chicken, pork, leeks, natto, tofu. Well, what about you, Yuki?
Brown bear.
Wow, Yuki, you're a hunter. Even Masa would try and run away.
Yeah, but I think about how the bear feels. I feel sorry for it to lose my appetite.
Don't put it into your hot pot to begin with, woman.
I'll play the part of the brown bear.
What? You will?
And you play the pot.
Here it comes, folks. The worst comedy skit in history.
Thanks, young. What are you lurking around down here for?
It's obvious, isn't it? I'm carrying stuff around.
Ha! You sure are a hard worker. You're running errands for Suzumiya, aren't you?
I guess 6 months was all it took for my classmates to fully comprehend the situation I've got myself into.
Are you taking that thing back to school? Oh, wow, you're a hard worker.
You're telling me?
Well, see ya.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, damn. Now it's gonna start raining. The weather forecast said there was only a 10% chance of rain today. Yet another thing that can't be trusted. I hope it doesn't turn into a downpour.
Oh, looks like it started raining.
wanted to be in that room more than I do now. The first thing I'm going to do is grab myself a cup of Miss Asahina's tea and warm up my body, along with my heart.
Yoo-hoo! Hey, is Mikuru here? Nagato, are you the only one here? I want to see if she'll trade cleaning duties with me tomorrow, so I came to ask her. Do you know where she is? Oh, she's over there, huh? Cool, thanks.
Oh, brother.
Hey, Kyone, were you out running errands again?
Miss Tsuria.
That's why.
Huh? What do you mean?
Nope, nothing at all, you hard worker. You're soaked to the bone. Here.
Thank you.
Well, see ya. Just give my handkerchief to Mikuru when you return her scarf. Ah!
I don't think I'll ever get what's going on in that girl's head. She's a nice person, though. I'll say that. Oh, Nagato. You're the only one here? So, where's Haruhi and the others?
Yeah, now that's how you're supposed to land on your butt. We got it. Moving on. Ouchie. I'm in awe of your clumsiness. Are you doing this on purpose? Koizumi, take over for me. This is how you do it, like this.
I'm a little worried about where the three of them are and what they're doing right now. But schlepping that rotten heater up that hill really wore me out. The worst part is, I'm gonna have to go right back down that hill again when I go home. How messed up is that? Come on. Man, my hands are so cold. I'm just so tired. Oh, Haruhi, it's only you.
Yeah, so? Is that a problem?
No, I don't have a problem with it. You didn't go and draw something silly on my face this time, did you?
Of course not. I'm not a little kid, Kyone.
Hey, where's everybody else?
It didn't look like you were going to wake up anytime soon, so they all went home.
But you could have just gone home. Why'd you stay behind?
I couldn't really help it. You were still sleeping. What do you want me to do? I gotta lock the door before I leave. Besides, it's still raining out there. Okay, hand it over.
Huh?
My cardigan.